You guys have killed a mind flayer, and they've cleaned that up as well. Vern Hazel says he's going to hold on to the corpse. So this way, if you guys need it for proof, he can present it.
Sounds smart.
All right.
Cool.
And Kenny.
Yeah, what's up?
I'm about to put a token down, and you're about to be able to see the map finally, I believe. One moment.
Okay, cool.
Oh, shit. Yes. Actually, Kenny, you know what would be a better name?
What's up?
For your tiefling, Sight instead of Psy.
Good thinking.
Do you want to do Psy or Sight?
I'll do sight. Fuck it.
Okay.
That works too.
Your character's whole thing is bringing sight to other people.
Hell yeah.
All right, you should be able to see the map now.
I wish I could see the map.
Oh yeah, hold on. I have to put Orlind down, don't I? All right, friends.
Oh shit, gotta zoom in a little bit.
Huh?
I gotta zoom in a little bit. I can't see shit.
Can you see or not?
Yeah, I'm good now.
Okay.
My shit was so zoomed out.
So, Kenny, you appear in the center of a comfortable bar.
Don't look very comfortable.
No one apart from the rest of the party seems to have noticed that you've just appeared out of thin air.
Yeah, it really seems like that, huh?
All right, guys. It's all you.
Oh, fuck.
I don't actually know what we're supposed to be doing, so...
I don't know either. Y'all got...
Well,
Who?
what had just happened was... we killed a mind flayer.
Oh, mind play.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Out of character, think Cthulhu.
Yeah, I know what a mind flayer is. I saw...
So it was pretending to be a bunch of different people, and I figured it out, and we killed it. And
Hell yeah.
Unfortunately, I think 2 or 3 people died in the process, but we tried. 2 or 3 out of a whole bar full of people at risk, I think we did good.
Oh, hell yeah.
So we have established that the reason we went into the Underdark, which is a cave system underneath the Dwarven City where our goal is wait, hold on, what did I just say? Heather had a brain fart.
Something about going underground is some door.
Okay, right. So we went to the Underdark. We're trying to find a Dwarven bard who's down there because they put their criminals down there. And he was a criminal, per se. And so we're trying to find him and take him back with us. In order to get down there, the first time we made a deal with Vern Hazel, points to the big Irish-looking dwarf.
Big dwarf.
The deal was to find a certain box for him because he said some shady, weird shit has been going down, and people that have been sent down there have been going missing. So we got some stuff and went down there, and ran into a bunch of mess. I'm summarizing very poorly, I apologize.
You're fine, dude.
And then pretty much all fell off of a cliff and lost 2 weeks of time. And most of us here don't even remember what happened, except for Dave. Points at Dave.
Dave. Wait a minute.
Dave is out of character, Dave is played by Martin. If I remember correctly, Martin, you said Dave is a small, androgynous male child.
A very feminine-looking
Feminine,
male
not
child.
androgynous.
Kenny, you can find a description of all the characters in
In what?
God damn it! Where the hell is that? In where? In Hero Factory info? Okay.
Cool.
And it
I
should be written descriptions of people's characters.
I haven't written anything besides.
I'll update that today.
Anyway, so what we want to do now, which is the goal of today's session, is that we have proof of a permit that we went down in the Underdark and came back alive. So we want to get a new permit so that we're allowed to go down into the Underdark again to continue
cool.
finding the dwarf we're looking for.
Let's rock and fucking roll.
We also need to get more supplies. But outside of this building, the dwarves we interact with are fairly...
They're racist.
yes,
They're
that.
fucking racist, goddamn.
Yeah, so,
Kenny, you understand the struggle being
I
black.
know the struggle.
so
What do we do about these racist dwarves?
Well, we need someone who speaks dwarf, usually, to get what we want. Half the time they overcharge us. Last time we dressed up two small gnomes, the gnome and the, we dressed up two people as a dwarf, and, I think that worked. I don't remember exactly.
Okay.
So we gotta figure out how to get supplies, and we need to apply to get another permit.
Fuck.
I think we should go for the permit thing first. Answer. We don't have the forger. If we have anyone else who can forge.
Orlind coughed suspiciously.
Yeah, if we have anyone else who can forge it, we could potentially, but it shouldn't be difficult to get a genuine one since we have the original forgery.
Okay. I'm just gonna fuck you.
So, up to you. We could just try and skip it. We could also potentially get a genuine one a little easier than the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that's an excellent backup plan.
Okay, so there's a few options. We either find a bunch of low nobles and get enough signatures to get the permit, or we find a major noble, so we only need one noble to give us permission to go down.
Let's go
I
do
thought
a
we were
bunch.
going to try and appeal to the Redbeard, or Rarebeard.
Yep, that's the plan.
Vern Hazel now says, well, actually, now that you've caught a Mind Flayer, another option is appealing to the entirety of the elite nobles all at once and seeing if you can get a single one of them in a group talk to support you, or maybe multiple ones, meaning that you wouldn't need any funding for your supplies.
You think you can get that set up?
I definitely can. I've got a body of a Mind Flayer now, eh?
Well, what are we standing around here for, Vern Hazel?
All right. Don't eat or drink anything for a bit. We don't know what else might be drugged.
That's fair, and I apologize for treating you so suspiciously earlier. You understand, of course.
He shrugs and exits the Overlook. You guys have a bit of time to socialize before he comes back. Probably a few hours.
Who are you?
Kenny, I believe Dave is asking you who you are.
What? I'm me. What? I don't even know.
Oh no. Oh no.
No, what?
I like your kid voice.
He's one of those He's one of those paladins that like worship nature, right?
I mean, close enough.
No, I meant the smoky nature.
Are you calling him a weed smoker?
Dude, honestly, close enough.
Have you ever met a paladin of the 420?
Every day.
When I get back,
Every day.
when I get back, you go to GameStop with me. Huh?
I'll see. It depends what.
But I don't
what
want
it
to
is.
go in and
Why?
my dignity.
My bad. I'm gonna mute myself really quick.
No worries. Dave, you can roll me a knowledge religion if you want to try to figure out what he's the paladin of.
I'll be back in like 40.
Like looking at his religious symbol or something.
Yeah.
Right.
You have advantage on this.
Oh.
Because of course you do.
May I ask maybe why? Because I'm just trying to think if if it's actually supposed to be.
Yep, he's a paladin of Tabris.
Well, that's the thing, Dylan.
I know.
Is he a paladin of my Tabris, or is he a paladin of the heathen Tabris?
The heathen Tabris.
The fucking heathen, what?
Wait, there's two neighbors?
Dave looks disgusted.
Can I,
He pinches his nose and steps away.
You know what, never mind. I was gonna see if I could heal you, Dave, but fuck Dave.
I don't want to socialize with one of the heathens.
You're a
Yes, Dave,
heathen.
look.
Kenny, all his life, Sight has been an excellent paladin of Tabris, and you are pretty certain that this guy has no idea what he's talking about if he's calling you a heathen.
Honestly. I'm such a good paladin. Duh.
May, I haven't heard from you in a bit. What's up, buddy? What's Aberforth doing?
Greybird. That's a cool last name.
I don't know what he's doing.
Dude, I chill in silence a lot.
Alright, are all your characters just going to chill in silence now, or does anyone want to talk to anyone else?
And there's something I want to do, but I also don't want to do it.
What?
Nothing.
I'm bad at the whole role-playing thing.
No worries, dude. You'll get used to it.
I'm not, but I kind of don't want to waste a bunch of time talking if we can speak
Alright.
and be like, 5 hours later.
Well, it's actually 8 hours later Vern Hazel comes back.
Fuck, that's a lot.
And he says, I had to pull some strings, but I've set up a meeting with the elite council for later tomorrow. So get some rest. You can sleep anywhere you'd like on the floor.
On the floor, how sweet.
Very much appreciated.
So homey on this cold stone floor.
No, that's actually pretty nice.
You got a winter blanket, Sight.
Hell yeah.
Things are good for you.
I'm living lavish.
You guys rest, having a comfortable but not enjoyable night on the floor. And in the morning, Vern Hazel wakes you all up. Like, good morning, sunshines! And he smiles at you all. Oh, I like your attitude, friend.
Damn, dude. I'm still pretty sleepy.
That's okay, we've got eggs and bakey being cooked for you right now.
Bakey.
Yeah,
Hi,
so come
laddie,
on.
bakey.
Wakey, wakey.
Nigga said bakey.
I Aye, laddie, bakey! What, you never had bakey before?
I think they call it bacon where I'm from.
It's like bacon, laddie, but it's arranged in a happy face.
Oh, hell yeah.
Mr. Burnhazel,
Aye, laddie.
last time I ate something here, you drugged me.
I'm about 80% certain there'll be no drugs in the food this morning.
Oh, dude, what about the other 20%? Can I get mine with drugs?
You gotta pay for them.
Fuck. I mean, I got 5 gold pieces.
They say, aye, no, laddie. If you want drugs, you gotta be paying a premium. 5 gold pieces isn't gonna get you anything but a bit of the wacky tobacco.
Damn, dude. Okay.
However you want, I'll give you an extra slice of bacon.
Oh, fuck yes.
We'll make it look like it's got a mustache for you.
I appreciate it.
And the dwarf with the red beard who's been speaking in that weird accent winks at you. And he goes back and he gets a bunch of plates for you all to have some bacon.
Dude, you didn't let me wink back.
And
Good.
eggs.
You guys eat his meal, and he explains to you that, yes, he managed to get you a meeting with every one of the elite houses all at once. The minor houses are not invited to the meeting, which he explains is pretty standard, meaning that the only people present are going to be the hammer fists, the fist hammers, the rare beards, the red birds, and the finest.
I got a question for Mr. Greybeard.
His name's Burnhazel Greybird. Aye, laddie, how can I help you?
Are you related to the Redbirds?
I am actually, laddie. We are one of the minor houses that serve the Redbirds.
Oh, that's cool.
Aye, it is. And he kind of tussles your hair.
I'm not bigger than you.
You are very much bigger than him, but right now you're sitting down and eating bacon.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I'm eating bacon. Cool.
So you're gonna want to get your story straight first. I'm gonna be a little late to the meeting as I'll be getting the mind flayer out. Also, if I were to show up, they'd wonder why any of you needed to be present. If you all go, I can say I've sent you in my stead.
Okay.
You'll want to think of how to make your case towards the elite houses and what you want to bring up with them. All right?
Sounds good. Okay, so what's the game plan? What are we gonna tell them?
Well, we know the last place. I have a map memorized of the last places we saw. We know where shit started going south, which is probably where he started affecting us.
Okay.
And we have a little bit of exploring to do with this whole rune thing that Dave found.
I thought the map was absorbed into Kane's sword.
Okay, look, she
It was, but
still
I don't
remembers where
memorize.
it.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
she can still remake the map. Anyway, Mr. Van Hazel.
Aye, lassie.
So, is it a secret that that you were looking for a crate?
Indeed it is. Do not tell them anything about that.
Duly noted.
I'll make sure I don't say anything about a crate.
The only thing that you need to tell them is that you guys are great. And he laughs.
Actually, we gotta kick Vern Hazel out of here. He's gotta.
He has to leave. He looks at you and
Oh,
goes,
you're not gonna like me.
but this is my bar.
Shit. Okay, so we gonna tell him about the mind flayer, about when shit start going down, and then what else? We gotta get this permit.
Well,
Are we still gonna use the first permit?
no, we can't use the first permit. The first permit has been completed.
Use it to get a new permit.
Oh yeah, for sure. We'll show them our first permit, which will convince them, hey, we're not going to get ourselves killed if we go down looking for this mind flayer, or, you know, this mind flayer that we just killed above ground. We're definitely not going to get ourselves killed.
Their mind flayer is above ground. Shit.
Sight says, now finally catching up a little bit more with the party.
Yeah, well, there was one, and it's dead now.
Well, that's good.
But...
Oh, and laddies and lassies.
Yeah.
Remember what I said. Anyone could be a mind flayer.
Right. So we need to mention that.
Dave starts really side-eyeing Sight and Orlind. Because they weren't here last time and now suddenly they're here.
I'm really, really good at just showing up where I need to. If they're a mind flayer, we just gotta kill them.
I mean, potentially, yes. If there is a mind flayer on the Noble Council, they might be against us. But just because someone's against us going down doesn't necessarily mean they're a mind. Possibly.
Mind flayers are those kind of things that just about everyone knows about because they are rumored about constantly. Like, they are the kind of creature that everyone knows about and everyone sort of fears. Think like folk kind of tales about them.
They're the boogeyman.
Essentially, yeah.
True, but we definitely want to get down there anyway, so that works in our favor.
So, can we just, like, break into the underground?
Unfortunately, no. There's an elevator, the only way in or out, and it has to be lowered by 2 dwarves for over 2 hours.
Fuck.
Yeah, so no. We went through this the first time.
Damn.
So, we tell them about the mind flayer, we tell them about how... Oh shit, what if they ask why it followed us back? Do we mention it followed us back, or do we mention that it might have just been here in the first place? Because
We'll just say it was already here. Because then they're gonna think something's suspicious.
I mean, as far as we know, is already here.
Yeah.
Right. Because we went down, finished our mission, came back, and then figured out this mind flayer was here, and took care of it. But there's almost definitely going to be more of them down there. And we do still need to finish our original expedition, which we had to finish early because we didn't have enough equipment the first time around.
Okay. Well, what if we say that we're close to finding the answers to the riddle of the mind flayers. We just need to go down there to
What riddle?
But
like why the mind flayers are here and how to stop them.
there's a riddle?
It's not a riddle, it's just something that needs to be answered.
That sounds like a riddle, Dave.
You think we should mention the rune at all, Dave?
No. I don't think we need to mention too much at all. We just need to mention why we want to go down, which is to, you know, solve the Mind Flayer problem.
Well, I don't think we're able to solve the Mind Flayer problem all on our own.
No, that's not the point. We just need to tell them that's why we want to go down.
We need to convince them, though. Well, that is what got us the
But they were bringing the Mind Flayer for a reason.
You're welcome.
Well, that I don't. Why would we be getting this meeting if
we're getting the meeting because we killed one that was already above ground. And that's a fair point, that might cause a cause for concern, which allowed the meeting to happen. But in case just saying, hey, we want to go kill more Mind Flayers isn't good enough, we need a little more that might persuade them.
We can ask see if we can go investigate as to how that Mind Flayer got up.
Hell yeah, good ass idea.
That's a good point, because we know the last point at which we potentially interacted with a Mind Flayer was down in that, down where the Drider was. No.
No, we're gonna keep that a secret.
Yeah, if we mention that, we won't get to go down because one of the noble families is very biased against him. So as far as they're concerned, our quest is to go investigate the last place we found any proof of Mind Flayer and see if we can figure out maybe where they're holed up so that a larger party could go and, you know, bomb it.
Kenny, do you have any insight on this?
My bad. I got a little lost because the dog got out.
No worries, dude.
What happened? Are we going to investigate?
They're essentially still talking about how they're going to convince the nobles.
Okay, I think we should honestly just tell him about the mine. Tell him we went down, came up, he was sitting here, fucked his day up, and we need to go back down.
Right, which is...
To investigate how he came up.
Yeah, to investigate the last place we saw him so we could figure out how he escaped. To prevent it from happening again.
I made my character dizzy as shit.
Your character's smart, actually, Kenny.
Nah, he's dizzy. I've been spinning around.
Oh. Orlind, how about you? Anything that you want to input? Aberforth, I haven't heard too much from you either.
I mean, I said that we need that wording it has investigating. You know, an investigation would probably be better than how I tell them we want to go down. So.
Yeah,
all right.
That's a good point.
Have you guys sorted everything out then yet, or do you need a little bit more time just to sort out what you're going to say and who's in charge of saying what?
I mean, as far as I know, Aberforth is the only one who can speak Dwarvish, so.
Oh yeah, who speaks Dwarvish here? Does anyone?
Not me.
Mr. Aberforth does.
Okay. So Aberforth can... Okay, so the story we're going with is we went down, we had to end our original one a little earlier than we liked because we were running low on supplies, we came back up.
Vern Hazel also lets you guys know that Aberforth can actually, in these kind of meetings, pose as a hired translator for you because he's introduced Heather Bow as the Queen of Mayor.
Right, which I
So
totally-
it would if someone else wanted to talk, and the rest of you guys have been introduced as Beau's court, meaning that you guys essentially all hold in their eyes, you guys all hold noble ranks. So
Oh shit.
Aberforth can be used as a translator if your characters want to say something, and you guys can roll your own checks. So this way you don't only have to rely on only May making persuasion and shit.
Yeah. Yes, thank God.
that works great. That way we can all do things, and me with my ugly face, I can just be like, "Hey, Aberforth, translate for me."
Yes.
Translate
Now,
my ugly face.
certain-
Aberforth doesn't face himself.
certain phrases might be lost in translation or might translate poorly, but I will let you know if you're rolling essentially at random times. I might ask you to roll at either advantage or disadvantage. This is based on what you're saying and of how it translates into Dwarven language, as well as how Aberforth manages to translate. Meaning that sometimes you guys might say something, and I might just tell you to roll at disadvantage for seemingly no reason. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So do you need a bit more time, or are you set to go?
I think we're pretty. You
I
guys
got the
good?
story.
I got it down good enough. I ain't really gonna be talking.
All right.
So I think we all got it.
Yeah,
Cool.
let's rock and roll. Let's talk to these nobles, guys.
So your first hurdle is once you manage to get back to the Palace District area. Leading up to the stairs towards like the building that Vern Hazel has directed you to. After Kenny, you come out into the city and you have to walk up like thousands on thousands of steps just to get to this district, as this whole city is built into a mountain. And at the very bottom of the mountain is a giant crack in the ground. That's the hole that people have been going down into.
Okay.
The place that you're going for the meeting is at the very, very top of this mountain. And so you have to climb up a ridiculous amount of stairs. And when you're at the final set of stairs, there is a pair of guards, and you guys recognize them as wearing Lord Finest's livery.
Okay.
And they are not letting you pass.
I asked Aberforth to inform them that
Tell them we got a meeting
Isribeau
with
and her
the kings.
court are here for a meeting with the high nobles.
And he translates that.
They say back, all right, which nobles are you meeting with and where? You guys know where. Just tell. If you. Yeah. So you.
Yeah, I tell him.
They kind of look you up and down, and as you guys give their names, and Beau, you introduce yourself as Queen, and Aberforth.
I'm still wearing the crown. I'm a queen.
Oh yeah, they look you up and down, Beau, and Aberforth, you're able to translate something, but I don't know if you're going to want to repeat it to the rest of the party.
I kind of want to know that.
They
I
kind
wanna
of
know.
one of them mutters it to the other. May, what I just sent you in private.
Okay.
Are you doing anything with that information?
Not at the moment.
All right, then, guys. All you see is you see one of them lean over and mutter something in a language none of you can comprehend, and then the other one leans back and whispers this back to the other, Aberforth. And then they turn back to you, Aberforth, and say, "All right, do you have the permit of to meet with them?" Guys, Vern Hazel did not give you a permit.
Fuck.
Hold on, they might be pulling our leg again. They pulled our legs in the past. We should probably just say Vern Hazel Greybeard set it up himself.
Yes, Aberforth translates.
So
So
I
you
got
say-
a question. Am I allowed to give people attitude?
Oh yeah, you can give people attitude,
Oh,
but
fuck
you
yes.
should ask the party if it's a good idea to give people attitude.
It's not at this point. We need to
No.
get in.
I mean, not right now in this particular situation. This is for future use.
Yes.
You have been, yes, Tal.
Yeah, he set up the meeting. We are here to represent him. That's you're correct.
Do you tell them that, Aberforth?
Yes.
They look back at you, Aberforth, and they say, "All right, do you have any proof of that?"
They bullshit us right now.
Aberforth, you can roll me an insight.
I'm pretty sure they're just giving us a hard time because we're not corpse. But, you know.
Fucking assholes.
You know what? I'm going to use that 16 I rolled earlier.
That 16, Aberforth, they're trying to solicit you guys for a bribe right now. It's clear in their mannerisms that they want you to bribe them with something.
Okay, can I give them a gold piece each?
All right, yeah. Yeah, as Aberforth, well, first off, Aberforth, do you communicate back to the party, and how do you do so that these guards are looking for a bribe, or otherwise they're going to hassle you?
Hey guys, I think they want a bribe.
Well,
that's the
they
thing,
can
if you just-
understand common.
Yeah, they do understand Common. Although they only speak Dwarvish, they do understand Common. And, you know, Kenny, how do you think, how well would it be received if you and your bros, while being stopped by the police, one of you suddenly turned back to the others and out loud said, "Hey, guys, I think they want a bribe."
I'm black. I'm automatically gonna get shot by the police.
And that's essentially what these dwarves are doing.
Dude, let's just give them the gold pieces.
Well, we gotta wait for Aberforth to tell us that's what we're
Oh
looking
fuck!
for.
Damn
Right
it.
now, we don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Or
I feel you.
Aberforth does something on his own.
Yeah. So, Aberforth, what you doing here, bud?
What's the game plan, Aberforth?
Oh, shit. I really want to mess with them back.
Just do whatever you want.
Aberforth pulls out 2 tiny clockwork devices and he gives them each to the guys. He's a tinkerer, so he can construct tiny clockwork devices.
Alright, what devices do you give them?
It's 2 tiny clockwork devices.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
they usually are like something. It's like a monkey bashing drums or something like that.
Yeah, describe them to me, dude.
Oh shit, well sorry, I didn't know that.
No worries, dude.
Oh my elbow, that hurt.
They're dogs.
Just say they're the little teeth thing, dog.
They're just like little tiny clocks.
They're just little tiny clocks?
Little
Yes.
baby clocks.
Like a toy clock or a clock, like an actual working clock?
Like an actual working clock.
Oh, yeah, they go, alright. That's kind of neat.
Oh, dude, thank God.
Yeah, here, it looks like your paperwork's all in order, one of them says, slipping the clock into his jacket. Highlander, how about you go show them their the room, and a dwarf with a limp kind of comes out from around the corner,
That's
and and he kind of says, "Right this way, sirs," and he says that in the low tongue.
Alright.
This dwarf, by the way, guys, you can see his armor is a lot less quality than the rest. His armor is all rusted. His weapon, as you look at it, you actually realize it's blunted. And he kind of limps ahead of you all, leading you towards the meeting room. And he pushes the big double doors open and says, "The nobles are waiting for you inside, sirs." And he says that again in common. It says what you all understand, and he doesn't meet any of your eyes. He's looking directly at the ground.
Aww. Sweetie, no.
Same with Dave.
He said his name was Highlander, right?
They called him Highlander. You're not certain if that's his name or if that's a title.
Can I ask him his name?
I don't have one, sir. I am a Cragborn.
Oh, shit.
They simply call me Highlander as a dig sometimes.
Okay, I'm
Please
just
do
gonna...
not concern it yourselves with it, sirs. I am far beneath your notice.
I'm gonna call him Bud.
I'm gonna kind of look at him and be like, and were it not for any other reason, we would be beneath their notice, but for the crown upon my head. I was but a commoner. You are more than you would ever be given credit for, and don't ever.
You can tell he blushes a little under his beard.
Can we give him a name?
No, he probably actually has a name, he just doesn't, he can't officially use it because they treat him so poorly.
Dude, does anyone want to, like, since you guys seem interested in this guy, does anyone want to get a look at him to see why he's limping?
Yes!
Fuck yeah, this is my new best friend.
Alright, you guys can roll perception, medicine, insight, knowledges, whatever. Roll whatever skill you want.
How do I roll?
You click the word.
Yeah, just click the word on your character sheet and it'll roll for you. It'll ask if you're at advantage. Yeah.
Oh god.
Okay, perception 0, medicine 0, insight. Wait,
Aberforth.
why do I have a bunch of zeros? I should...
Wait, hold on. Somebody can roll that 20.
Hold on a second. Where's my jack of all trades?
Well, that's the thing, Aberforth. The nat 20 would only make the situation slightly better. You're still gonna fuck up no matter what you do.
Right.
Aberforth, you say, so why are you a cripple?
Dude, wait, where the fuck did my character...
No, that's probably in his character anyway, so...
That he goes, why are you a cripple?
Maybe, I don't know. I saw him decide who he is.
So how do I roll again?
So on your character sheet, click any one of the skills that you want to roll.
Oh no!
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No, I don't wanna, no! I don't wanna, I'm trying to be so nice!
So Kenny, on your character sheet, you're going to see a bunch of skills, right?
Yeah, I got
Roll whichever skill you think is going to help you discover why this guy is a cripple.
Just a normal roll?
Normal roll, yes. I will let you know if it's at advantage or disadvantage. Alright.
Dylan,
Yeah.
I got a nat 1, but I was trying to be nice, so don't make me be rude, just make me fuck it up.
I got a 21 for medicine, is that good?
Alright, yeah, it is actually very good, Kenny.
Hell yeah! We gonna know this nigga limping.
So, first off, Aberforth, you say, so why are you a cripple? And Bo, you smack Aberforth upside the head and say, you can't say that to cripples.
No, I wouldn't. No.
Okay, and then
Dave and Sight, you guys are both aware that one of his legs is just much shorter than the other one.
what the hell?
And as you look too, you can see underneath his beard that his face is deformed.
Damn, that's rough.
Oh.
And,
I feel so mean girls right now. Oh my god, you can't just ask someone why they're white.
yeah, essentially, yeah.
Oh my god, you can't just ask somebody why they're crippled.
He kind of shuffles from side to side as Aberforth and Bo unintentionally make him feel bad.
Dude, can I make him feel better?
Yeah, dude. What would you want to roll to make him feel better?
Let me check my character sheet real quick.
You could give him something. You could roll something like persuasion. You could roll intimidate, but that'd be really awkward to try and make him feel better with. You could roll perform to like tell a funny joke or something.
Can I roll like
You could roll like history if you want to tell him a story about history about like I don't know, a dwarf who overcame his problems. You could roll deception to lie to him and be like, yeah, everything's gonna be okay, buddy.
Wow.
Deception.
You could roll religion if you wanted to.
21 roll for deception.
You got a what now?
21.
Roll of deception. Yeah, you lie to him outright, Sight, as you're like, listen, just because you have a bad leg doesn't mean you don't have a big heart.
Oh, but wait, that might be the truth.
And then I give him a pat on the back.
And you give him a pat on the back, and
Hell
he seems to feel better.
Fuck yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Fucking dice.
He's holding the door open for you guys. Do you go in?
Can I give him a gold coin for being so good?
Yeah, you
Being a
tip
good
him
helper?
a gold. You tip him a gold coin, and he literally like looks at you and is like, I can't accept this, sir. This is more money than I've seen in my entire life.
Okay, well he's keeping that shit, so.
Yeah, we're gonna give him more now.
Damn, I don't know about giving him more. He can just keep.
You don't have to give him more. I'm gonna give him more. I'm a damn queen.
He seems
Oh,
very
shit.
insistent. He seems very insistent on trying to give it back to you and says that if anyone else in his unit finds out he has this, they're gonna beat him up and rob him for it.
Dude, tell him If somebody beats him up and allows him,
What, Kenny?
no one's gonna beat him up. That's my homie right there.
No, but they probably will. So
Damn. Oh, peg leg ass nigga. Come on. Yo,
how would we?
can I roll intimidation to make him keep the coin?
Yeah.
Yo, how would we go about like? Fixing
Okay,
this
I got a
thing?
24.
god.
Oh my god.
He's
So-
keeping the fucking
Kenny-
coin.
Kenny, when it's a green number, that means you rolled a nat 20.
Oh, cool.
And
The best thing
that
ever.
means that essentially you have a 1 in 20 chance of getting this. And when you do, it means that you always succeed in a fantastic way.
Okay, well, he's definitely
So,
keeping that fucking
Keep that
coin.
going.
You kind of get down on one knee, Kenny, because you're much taller than him, right? And you
Yeah.
poke him in the chest. And when you poke him in the chest, you tell him that anyone who fucks with you, fucks with me. And you
Okay,
flex a
good
little.
shit. Oh,
And-
hell yeah.
And he goes, he nods and pockets the coin and looks
Hell
very
yeah.
happy.
That's my nigga right there.
All right, and do you guys finally go into the meeting room?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give him 3 more coin and then yeah, we'll go.
You give him more coin.
Yeah,
Uh,
because he did a good job.
I don't
He
know why
did
I-
do a good job. And he's friendly. I
Oh
appreciate
shit!
that.
Ignore that.
Give me a second. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Coin very expertly.
Character sheet, I swear.
I don't know why Orlind and Sight didn't appear. Hold on. Don't fuck with those tokens. Like, don't change their HP or anything. I know.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. He's gonna move him.
Yeah, I had a technical issue.
You're good, dog.
All right.
If I gotta move around the screen, just tell me, 'cause I'm trying to cook pizza.
All right. Yeah, you'll need to move around the screen now.
Okay, give me like
Um,
6 seconds.
this hammer doesn't have a name.
Maybe if this hammer doesn't have a name.
I mean, I see Whiskey Finest, Redbird, Rarebeard, Hammerfist,
yeah.
and then there's the 5th one. There it
There you
goes.
Okay. How do I
Process
move?
of
I just
elimination.
drag my character?
You can you drag and drop, or you can use the arrow keys to move around.
Arrow keys? Hell yeah.
All these dwarves sit at this table waiting for you to take your spots. They look almost pretty much exactly like their tokens.
Can I sit at the end of the table? Or do I gotta sit with everybody else?
It's up to you where you sit, Kenny.
Hell yeah. Nah,
All the dwarves look at you strangely as you go over there, though, Kenny.
I'm gonna come back with my friends then. I don't like being looked at.
Dave?
Is Dave gonna come sit by? Oh,
Dave, come sit by me.
that empty seat over here.
I pat the seat,
I
insisting Dave
think
sits by me.
they would kind of slightly.
Dave, sit your ass by me.
He's kind of hiding.
He doesn't like you.
All right, let me change the music.
No. We need to make a good impression.
That was weird. I don't know why it was so loud for a moment there.
No, that was my bad. My computer came unmuted. That was...
And Dave, Whiskey Finest, the guy you know as Lord Whiskey Finest, the guy who sent the bard that you've been looking for. Since you guys you didn't bother telling Kenny and Cal's characters about your main goal of finding
No,
a
we
bard.
did.
Oh, you did?
No, we did in the overlook. We told him.
Oh,
Perfect.
yeah.
Just checking.
Yeah, we just said we're never mentioning that because that'll get Whiskey Finest against us since he sent him down there.
Yes, Lord Whiskey Finest is the one who sent it down.
Okay.
Lord Redbird is the one that is. I'm going to go over them again, so this way you can remember their like how they're related. Redbird is the one who is Vern Hazel's patron family. Rarebeard, you guys know that Rarebeard normally acts as kind of a tiebreaker between the other houses. And Fisthammer and Hammerfist, you know, hate each other.
Because they were related and they fucked up.
They,
Sit next
Whiskey
to each
Finest looks at you and he grumbles a really, really low, deep, raspy voice that it's rude not to sit down at a negotiation.
Damn. Who's calling you out, Dave?
He sits down here.
Can Dave hide under the table?
I mean, he's basically sitting at the floor, so...
Redbird. Lord Redbird speaks up here, Bo, and is looking at you and is like, I believe you must be Queen Isribeau, then?
I am.
Would you mind controlling your courtier or bodyguard? Or your son? Whatever he is to you, please.
Davina, sweetheart, please take the seat next to Orlind. We don't want to be rude to the people granting us audience.
Dave sits down, but he keeps he does not look at the other people. His gaze is like, so everyone is like over here this way. His gaze is in this direction.
Hammerfist, by the way, all of them, Whiskey Finest has a bunch of alcohol bottles in front of him.
Of course he does.
Can I ask Whiskey Finest for one?
No.
Hold on. Let me finish describing what they all look like and what they're doing, and then we can get into you guys what you're doing. All right.
Okay.
Hammerfist is leaned back in his chair, so this way only the back two legs are actually touching the ground, with his feet up on the meeting table, and he looks very, very dirty, as if he didn't bother washing before this meeting.
How painful.
Fisthammer, on the other hand, looks like very, very prim and proper, as if she bathed not once but 3 times, and you can smell her perfume from here. It's very, very large, and you guys can roll perception.
I
don't know if I want to.
Her perfume mixes with Hammerfist's BO, by the way, and it just smells terrible.
Let's just not percept that.
Dave and Aberforth, you guys realize that Rarebeard has nose plugs in. Rarebeard is a female dwarf in red and gold armor, and she seems to be sort of relaxed in her chair, with one hand on the armrest, with an elbow on the armrest, and her fist tucked underneath her chin. Redbird, meanwhile, is sitting like just normal. Hammerfist is the first one to speak up at you, and he kind of grumbles rudely and hacks and coughs, and then says, "I thought Lord Greybird would be here."
He sent us in his stead, as we were the ones who killed the creature.
Whiskey Finest takes a swig from his alcohol and says, the old bait and switch. He says he's gonna come and then sends the people he really wanted us to meet with. I bet this whole Mind Flayer thing was a hoax, too, to get you in here. Alright, what do you want? Whiskey Finest seems to be pretty gruff and to the point.
Well, to be short, we want another permit to go down.
Did you just say to a dwarf to be short?
Well, you realize
Wait,
you may have committed
hold on. The dwarves are wait, okay, clarify. Dwarves in 5e aren't short, right? They are
not small creatures. Dwarves in 5e are not small creatures, but that's only because they are stout. They are still shorter than most other races.
I thought they were normal human-sized in 5e. My mistake.
No.
Okay, well then I probably wouldn't have said that, knowing they were actually short. It's you don't say short around a midget. I'm not. Can I?
We'll see. Continue with what you're saying, and I'll tell you how they react.
Okay. To be short and not waste your time, we seek a new permit, as we have finished our previous one, to go back down into the Underdark.
Aye. Hammerfist cuts you off.
Mm-hmm.
Which one's your translator?
Aberforth raises his hand.
Aye, alright. Just checking and making sure you aren't gonna waste our time. They're all speaking in Dwarvish, by the way, Aberforth. I'm assuming you're translating. Tell me if there's anything you don't translate, okay?
Right. Okay.
And Rarebeard says, Lord Hammerfist, please try to contain yourself while our guests are speaking. Please continue, Queen Isribeau.
We seek a new permit to return to the Underdark and figure out how this creature escaped from the depths. We have proof from our previous expedition as to where it may have come from the first time.
Okay, Bo, are you intending on rolling any sort of persuasion or intimidate or any social skills off this?
I mean, I do persuasion, but I'm at a disadvantage.
Uh,
But I'm still probably doing better at disadvantage than intimidate. So I'm going to use persuasion at disadvantage.
Okay.
Nice. See, still better.
Aberforth, roll me some sort of check to translate whatever you think would be good. To make sure that you get all the nuances of it. You can do so at advantage.
I spoke very plainly on purpose.
I have no idea what to roll for that.
Insight would work, yes.
Oh, yeah, the language isn't really a roll anymore.
Oh. That doesn't really translate too well, and Redbeard has to politely ask you to repeat yourself, and you manage to translate it successfully the second time. But you can tell that Hammerfist has entirely lost interest and isn't even paying attention by the time you're finished the second time. And why, pray tell, Whiskey Finder says, should we give a permit out to the likes of strangers such as yourself? And Fitzhammer, before you guys can respond, kind of says, I have to agree with Lord Finest here. We know nothing about you, and you wish to enter into the crag. Redbird and Rarebeard can just remain silent, and Hammerfist is picking his nose.
Well, the lesser nobles permitted us the first time, and as we came back with no losses, I figure that speaks for our ability. Not to mention, were any of us to perish, you wouldn't be losing any of your high-blooded brethren.
Redbird. Oh, well, are you rolling any sort of check on this, Bo?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm appealing to their racist nature. Well, I am.
Good old
All right, Aberforth, you can roll at advantage on your insight.
Or anything else that you want to roll?
Or
if
anything
you think
else that
something
you wanna
else
roll,
works.
yes.
I got a question.
Yes, Kenny.
Is the bold number the one that they get, or is it the...
The bold number is the one that they
Faded.
get. When you roll
Okay.
at disadvantage, you roll twice and you take the lowest. And when you roll at advantage, you roll twice and take the highest.
Okay, cool, got you.
Yeah, so it'll gray out the one that we ignore.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure.
Yep. It's for easier
You
readability.
can make an acrobatics check. Translate acrobatically.
Oh my god, no.
Do a somersault.
Would performance
sorry,
work?
Mike.
Because, like, you
How about
know...
investigation? No.
Would performance work? Because then you're, like, speaking very fancy and oratory and...
Oddly enough, insight's better than performance.
Tight.
Kenny, what do you think of the music, by the way?
There we go, that's better.
I have it muted because it was loud as shit. Let me...
Oh, yeah, it's only loud as shit for the first, like, couple notes, and then it quiets itself down.
Dude,
Well,
I
you
like
also have
the
to
music.
adjust it in this thing.
Yep, Aberforth, you managed to, translate correctly. And, Fisthammer is now paying attention again, but it looks like you've lost Whiskey Finest, and he doesn't seem to give a shit at this point anymore. Redbird and Rarebeard kind of lean forward as if they're intrigued, and Fisthammer as well. Which minor noble house gave you permission to go down there? We didn't hear anything about this.
Don't tell him. Don't be a snitch.
No, I pull out the previous permit.
Do you
'Cause we
slide
did.
it?
Huh?
Do you slide it across to show them?
No, I'll just read out the name, because we did use a minor noble house.
You would have used 3 actually, and written down you can see that it is the Gray Bird, the Thunder Bar, and the Silver Wing.
Okay, so I read those 3 out.
Whiskey Finest takes this moment to kind of glance at Redbird, and you can see him smiling. Aye, it looks like that one of your minor noble houses seems to be involved in this. Actually, I believe all 3 of those are yours, Lord Redbird. I didn't realize that you were in the tendency to be giving out permission for your minor houses to be giving out permits at this point in time. And the council seems now intrigued with what you've said, and Redbird is asking you to show him the permit.
Well, it was a perfect forgery, so I will show him the permit.
Okay.
We nat 20'd on the forgery.
Yes, I remember.
So.
However, sometimes not even a nat 20 can, be perfect.
Oh, okay.
Like, a nat 20 on it means that it's done to the best of its abilities, but sometimes, like, if you were to tell a ridiculous lie, like, I am the actual king of this thing, and not even a nat 20 is going to save it.
Okay, well...
In this case, where we had a forgery done based off of a description.
Yeah. Redbird signals for you to hand it to one of your what he assumes are your courtiers, and to have one of them bring it over to him.
I'll take it.
Okay, I will hand it to Kenny. To Sight, and just very gently say, please don't be rude. We can't risk it.
Alright, Sight. You walk around the table over to Redbird, and you hand him the permit?
Yeah.
Are you doing anything else while you do?
Not that much here.
Spit in his face.
What the hell? Unscrolls the permit, examines it for a second, and looks at the other elite council and says, "Not to worry, I'm still following the rules of the elite council. As it turns out, this is a forgery."
Oh shit.
I'm gonna feign shock.
However, the guard stamp is not a forgery. Whatever they might say, they have been down, for whatever reasons, they've been down to the Underdark, and they have returned successfully, with all of their party intact. However, it says here that they lost 6 crates of food, was it, that you guys brought down?
Yes, we brought down 6 crates of food, and had to give some of them to those posted below, as they had not been given their rations.
At that moment, Rarebeard stands up and slams the table and says, "You fed them?"
I'm scared.
With no knowledge... hold on, how do I word this?
Can we just say we didn't know they were down there?
No, they were down there, we knew, it's just... With no knowledge of how they were managed to be fed, and with the state of disarray they were in, yes, we mercied them and gave them a crate of food.
Fisthammer kind of examines her nails while she says, "Well, it's quite simple, darling. You see, we send the criminals down there and tell them that eventually that they'll have served their penance, but we stop sending them food after a few months before they finally are let free. This way we don't have to worry about any unsavory types coming out of the crag."
Ah, my mistake then.
And you guys realize now that the elite council has been sending people down there and then letting them starve to death.
Yeah, but I'm not going to react at this point. I'm just going to say my mistake. It shan't happen again.
Finest nods his head and actually commends you on your pragmaticism in that case. It says here that you also lost a crate of weaponry. However... Oh, no. I'm sorry, yes, it says that you lost a single crate of weaponry.
Yes, we were confronted by some Draugr who informed us to give them one crate of one or the other. We faked a barter with them so that we'd have the upper hand on a fight. And then what was it? What were the spider creatures called, Davina?
Huh?
The
I'm not.
Ettercaps? We were besieged by Ettercaps.
You guys actually
Pushed
don't know
us.
if they were Ettercaps. You never found out if they were
Oh,
Ettercaps.
I thought someone said Ettercaps.
No.
Okay, then if they didn't, then I won't use the word. Then we were besieged by a spider-like being, which pushed us off of the bridge. We all survived and managed without the supplies.
Whiskey Finest nods at this and says, again, commendable to survive it. There are many horrible creatures down in the dark. And Redbird pauses and says, it also says that some of your supplies were bought on the credit of Lord Thunderbar?
I did not manage the shopping, so I am not sure how we were gifted such a credit.
Rarebeard interrupts and says, Lord Redbird, you know the rule. If Lord Thunderbar was... Lord Thunderbar was tricked into giving his credit, or if his credit was used without his knowledge, it is Lord Thunderbar's fault and responsibility. And Redbird sighs and nods. Yes, we'll have to exile him for this. But I believe we can get away without needing to put his family to the sword.
Jesus.
All right. The matter of your previous permit settled, and he holds it up, and a dwarf comes out from this wall. Like, you guys didn't even realize that there was a door there. Walks out, takes the permit, and walks around the table, and hands it back to Bo.
Okay.
Before then walking away and entering into this wall here and vanishing.
Oh shit.
Which wall? I didn't see it. I was zoomed in.
This wall.
Okay. Duly noted.
Hammerfist has been kind of zoned out this entire time. You guys can tell he's not paying attention to you at all.
That's fine.
And Fisthammer says, I need to know then, what was your purpose for going down before? What was so important you needed to forge a permit to go into that hellscape?
Fuck.
Our initial purpose was to investigate, learn, and then subsequently destroy several Dwerger.
All the lords seem to mutter at that, and Hammerfist is now paying attention the second you mention Dwergar. And he spits on the ground, and Aberforth, he says a lot of unsavory things in Dwarven.
That I don't repeat.
Yeah, Aberforth, you now have a very, actually all of you, because that's a very obvious from his body language, that he has issues with Dwergar. And what?
I got a
Pray
question
tell.
for you. What's Dwergar?
Huh?
Oh,
Dwergar are like
are-
evil dwarves, evil underground dwarves, essentially.
Man, fuck them.
Yeah.
Rarebird says, and what, pray tell, was your problem with this group of Dwergar? Who are you hired by?
Oh, it was nothing against these specific Dwerger. Back from my country, we need more knowledge of Underdark races as well. And since we were coming through this country, and you have the problem, we decided to do two birds in one stone.
All right, roll deception or persuasion off of this. I think deception. Yeah, deception.
I mean, yeah, because I don't really know anything about my country, so...
Normal.
Yeah, because I don't have disadvantage on deception. Just
Yeah, it's a
persuasion.
pretty well-crafted lie. All right, Aberforth, insight at advantage? Or any other check that you want to roll. Aberforth, you're unable to translate the lie as well as Bo crafted it, but you do it well enough that they it looks like they buy it. And however, it's Whiskey Finest who speaks up and says, "Aye, I've sent many groups down into the Underdark, and very rarely have I met a group that has decided to make it their first option to go down there. Why did you not simply seek out a library?
One cannot truly understand what one does not experience for oneself.
Alright, you can roll a persuasion on that one.
I mean, that's not even a lie.
That's why I said persuasion.
Bard, bitches.
Alright, Aberforth, you have to roll your insight at regular for this one. Because
Yeah.
Bo said something pretty poetic. And you're uncertain how to
Sorry, I'm a bard.
And so Bo says something poetic, which was, what was it again, Bo?
One cannot truly understand what one does not experience for oneself.
And Aberforth, you translate it to, if you don't get hit in the face by it with it, but unless you get hit in the face by it, you don't know how bad it hurts.
I mean, yeah, that's a fair translation.
Whiskey Finest seems to actually like that answer. However, Fisthammer rolls her eyes, and Rarebeard, her face is unreadable. All right, and what is the purpose of you going back down into the Underdark? Redbird says.
Well, this creature made it its priority to come above the crag and try to manipulate those of us. I'm making it my priority to go find where it came from.
Wait. Whiskey Finest cuts you off. You're telling me that the Mind Flayer in the Overlook was not a hoax?
No, it was not.
We have a body to prove it.
We do, in fact, have its body. It is currently under the care of... Do we give Mr. Redbird's name? You said we could do that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
A Greybeard, right?
Greybird?
Yeah, Greybird,
Yeah.
sorry.
Well, where is Greybird and where is this body?
Can I ask Whiskey Finest for a drink?
Didn't Vern Hazel say he was gonna come on his way after we had already arrived?
Yeah. He seemed like
Kenny, if you want to ask Whiskey Finest for a drink, you'd have to do it in Dwarvish, meaning you'd have to ask Aberforth to translate.
Hey, Aberforth, can you ask him for some whiskey for him?
Aberforth denies. He says,
Damn.
Then I would inform them. Vern Hazel informed us he would be by shortly with the body for proof.
All right. Well, let's wait for Vern Hazel then.
As you wish, sirs. Adams.
An hour passes. Vern Hazel doesn't show.
Oh, that's awkward.
The nobles
Maybe
seem to
we
be
get him
getting
drunk enough, he'll
impatient.
just give it to us.
Yeah.
The nobles seem to be getting impatient, and
No,
They,
I agree.
you can Aberforth, a few times they mentioned to you the fact that it's impossible for a Mind Flayer to have gotten out of the crag.
Should we send someone to go fetch Vern Hazel?
Yes.
Would Sight and Orlind like to go Vern Hazel?
We can send some of our lesser. We can send servants to go and fetch him. We don't need any of you to leave at the moment.
That's
And
weird.
That sounds sketchy as hell.
yeah,
Yeah,
do you guys
we're-
want to roll an insight on that?
Yes.
Actually, yeah, that's a fair point.
Where's the inside? Oh, there it is. Do I roll it? Just normal roll again?
Yeah, normal roll.
Okay, cool.
We finished rolling.
Okay, that's all 5 of us? Yep.
All right. You guys can, as a group, kind of realize that them asking you to stay here instead of having Bo allowing you to send one of what they assume are your courtiers likely means that they want you in this room right now. You're not certain why. They could be keeping you from doing something. If, for instance, one of them was a mind flayer, they could be debating on arresting you. It could be a lot of things, but no reason of it is particularly good.
Right.
Shit.
They signal for like just up in the air, and one of the dwarves comes out of the walls, and like a dwarf for each of them comes out of the walls, and each of the elite nobles whisper to their dwarf. You guys can't make out what they say, and then the dwarves run off through the walls.
Can we whisper amongst ourselves?
Yes.
What do we do? They sound sketchy as hell.
We did find a way to identify a mind flayer.
That's good thinking, Dave.
There is.
Is a mind flayer a celestial?
You guys actually probably would have been intelligent enough to be like, hey, are you going to be all right, Vern Hazel? He said that he was going to actually take a couple members of his gang and Conway with him when transporting the mind flayer.
Right. So yeah.
You knew that he wasn't going to be left alone with it.
Okay.
Another hour passes after they've sent out their dwarves to go and look for Vern Hazel.
Oh no.
Oh, you say that? You found a way to identify a mind flayer? Aberforth, do you translate that?
Oh no.
Yes.
All of the council look intrigued.
Oh shit. Wait, what's a mind flayer count as? Because can I use divine to figure it out?
Huh?
Does divine sense work on a mind flayer?
Wait, what? That's not what you said the first time.
Huh?
Well, I'm just reading what Martin wrote, and that's not what he said the first time, so I'm just curious.
Yeah, Aberforth, do you translate that second bit?
He thinks for a second, then he translates it.
Whiskey Finest grabs his nose and is like, you lie!
Oh,
Bingo.
Are you making light of me?
The only way that anyone would check their nose was be if they knew they were a mind flayer.
what do we do about the mind flayer?
Don't do that.
So that man over there is a mind flayer.
Oh no. Why is no?
Aberforth translates that.
Oh no.
Oh,
I just kind of put one hand on my forehead and I'm like,
I did that in
are
real
you
life.
sure?
One moment,
Like,
I need
I'm
to
making a very pained face, like this is not going the way I want it to. Are you sure?
Where's our Greybird at? Is he just not gonna show up?
He hasn't shown up yet, and they've sent him out.
Damn, dude.
The council seem to all be looking at Lord Finest, and Aberforth, he looks at Isribeau, and he says in Dwarvish that if this is your idea of a joke, Queen Isribeau, I highly recommend you rethink it.
I assure you, I am not intending of any jokes. That being said, the Mind Flayer we combated did have the ability to change its form and pretend to be other people.
Yes, all Mind Flayers have these abilities. We are aware of it. However, it would be impossible for a Mind Flayer to have made it up the elevator, made it into Araktar, after being questioned by the guards. The guards question and are trained to question everyone who comes up that elevator.
Oh, mind flayer.
And you're aware, of course.
They know
So I'll say-
technically the route out Mind Flayers.
You're aware, of course, of the Mind Flayer's ability to manipulate the people who go down into your craft?
Yes, and that is why we have this stone. And whiskey finest signals, and 3 dwarves carry out what looks to be a big kind of like crystal, and they put it on the table. If you touch this stone and it glows, it means that you are a mind flayer. If it remains inert, you are not. Would everyone in the room please touch this stone?
I mean, who
I
came?
will gladly
who-
touch the stone
Who
if
came
the
up with
5
that?
of you wouldn't mind either.
Of course we will. And Dave, are you asking who came up with that?
Yeah.
Aberforth, do you translate that?
Yes.
Why, we did.
That seems really biased.
So,
I'm interested in how it works, as previously there has been no way to be perfectly sure other than seeing it transform in front of you.
It attunes to the connection mind flayers have with their void corruption. By touching it, if you are corrupted heavily enough by the void to be a mind flayer, it will sense it and begin to glow as part of the corruption is drawn out of you.
I do have a question as to its accuracy. Not to question any of you, of course. Have you has been...
Yes. So far it has 100% capture rate.
Perhaps I was misunderstood. Does it glow if one has been manipulated by a mind flayer but is not one?
Yes.
So then how could you be sure if it is a mind flayer if it gives you a false positive on those he has manipulated?
Because if they've been manipulated, we put them to death. And if they turn into a mind flayer after they die, then they were a mind flayer. If they don't, then they were someone who was manipulated by one. It's at that point that most of your party remembers that they have been manipulated by a mind flayer.
Yeah, most of, like, 2 of us have. 3 of us have not.
They ain't killing my niggas, not today.
The council all go first and they touch the stone. It doesn't glow for any of them.
Of course not.
I'll touch it next.
Can I roll Arcana and see if anybody casting spells while they touched it?
Sure. Sight, you touch the stone. It does not glow. Aberforth, you don't seem to notice anything. Bo, do you touch the stone?
In just a second.
Aberforth touches the stone.
Aberforth, the stone does not glow. No. If casting a spell is always very visual, unless you have the feat to cast stealthy spells.
Ah, damn.
No, Divine Sense is sort of like a that's an ability. It's different. Divine Sense,
Okay.
just you're a paladin, so you guys can sense these things. You do. You do not sense any celestials, fiends, or undead.
Hey, Dylan, I have a slight problem.
Okay.
I don't know what to do, and I really have to go to the restroom. I've been trying to hold it, but it's at the point that
Go
I
to
need
the bathroom.
a 5-minute break.
Go to the bathroom.
I'll figure out what to do as soon as I get back.
Yes. Dave, what are you doing?
Get food. It's been ready.
It was an orb, right?
It's kind of like uncut crystal. So it's like a big lumpy rock.
Well, I mean, I don't really feel like touching it, but at this point, I mean, what? There's nothing to do, really.
So you reach out and touch?
Sure, why not?
Nothing happens. And we will wait for Bo to come back. Kenny, what are you thinking so far, by the way? Like I said, this
It's pretty
is more...
fun, dude.
Nice. This is more of a social session, so there might not be a lot of fighting.
I wanted that nigga to be a mine.
I mean, there's no telling that it isn't, because they came up with this identification process.
Y'all ever have any hairs that are just like way long, thicker than the rest?
I can't believe my JoJo plan didn't work.
To do what?
No, it's from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure to find out that someone is like they need to find out who is a
Vampire,
bad guy,
right?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. So what one of the JoJos say, I can't remember which one. Joe, I think it is. He says that only someone that's like when someone smokes, they get a red mark on their nose or something, and everyone touches their nose who's been smoking, and the captain of the ship, who they previously didn't think was one of those users, touches his nose, and he says, well, only an idiot would touch his nose if, you know, that thing.
Yeah, Whiskey finds just sensitive about his nose.
Yeah.
Okay, what did I miss?
Dave touched the stone and it did not glow.
Yeah, but he also touched the rune which protected him.
You're the only person who hasn't touched it yet so far.
Okay.
Aberforth went down, didn't he? Oh yeah, he did. No, he was.
did not.
He was.
Violet did. So,
I'm trying to think of how to get out of this, because I know if I touch it, it's going to glow. Then again, I fought a mind flayer. Of course it used its powers against me. Of course it's going to glow.
do you touch?
I can't do a spell, because it'd be very obvious. So yeah, I'll say very briefly, I feel like this crystal is going to glow when I touch it due to having fought this creature.
Shouldn't be enough. Only like a slight bit of void corruption won't be picked up. Only a large amount. Redbird says.
Even if it attacked and tampered with my mind during the fight?
It would have to have tampered with something that would affect you in a long-lasting term. And if you are corrupted, then we have to put you to death, regardless of how the corruption happened. Even if it was from a short fight, those are our laws. Touch the stone.
I'm still playing.
You would risk war with another entire world over a fixable condition.
Yeah, they still.
Entire world, what are you talking about?
I don't know if broke. I didn't ask that part. I didn't really totally was broken.
Meliere isn't on this world, right? Dylan?
No, Mary Donna is not on this
I didn't
world.
ask.
No,
him.
Meliere. Meliere.
Okay, I don't know. It's cool.
Right. Meliere is a completely other world, right?
Yes.
Fuck, I don't remember. Let me check.
Oh, well... Okay, well then I would say exactly that.
You'd risk war with another country?
No, I would say the truth. You risk war with another world.
I don't know what you mean by world, but yes.
Aberforth.
Oh yeah, Aberforth translates. Aberforth, do you use the word world or do you use the word country?
Country.
Okay. Bo, you're unaware that Aberforth has changed.
Yeah, I know.
And Redbird says and tells you to translate this very carefully. If you are corrupted, it does not matter who you are, you will be put to death. We cannot risk anything escaping the crag. Every country in the world is aware of this. There would be no war if we were to hold you down and to cut your head clean off if we deemed it necessary.
That's kind of rude.
And that's him who says that.
Can I think to Tyr real quick?
Yeah, you think, what are you thinking to him?
Hey Tyr, in a bit of a bind. How do I make a crystal not glow that's supposed to glow when I touch it?
There's no response.
Oh.
Tyr, we'll make a deal.
There's no response.
Okay, Dylan, I am at the point where I feel like there should be some way for me to get around this, and I'm not sure as a person how else I could manage this, so I'm asking for your advice. I know you probably can't tell me anything, but you've made it clear that spells are very obvious. And
Yes,
if I
there is
touch
a
it,
special.
it's gonna...
Yeah, there's a special feat that you can take if you want to cast spells stealthily.
Right, which I can't. I didn't take any feats.
Yep. So you're presented with a challenge. Do you touch this crystal or do you not touch this crystal?
Well, I don't want to touch it because if I touch it, it's gonna glow, according to what they've said.
All right. So do
According to
you
what
tell
they
them
said.
that you are? Do you refuse to touch it?
No, because then they'll know I've been tainted.
I say flip a coin. Flip a coin, just touch it.
I mean, that's fair. It might not work. It might not actually do anything. But on the chance it does, I don't want to fight the five nobles. Oh, it's... I know that I was manipulated, and I know... Alright. Then I will pick up the crystal.
Oh, you lift the whole thing up?
I mean, how
Jeez.
big is it?
3 people to carry it.
Oh, it's 3 people. Oh, okay, well then, yeah, I'll touch it with a finger.
The crystal does not glow.
Hey!
See, all that trouble for
You gotta
nothing.
call them the fuck
I
out.
had to check. I had to be sure.
Whiskey Finest says, "See, look, all that trouble for no reason. You had us worried there for a second, Queen Bo."
My apologies. I did not wish to be put to death for a fight with a mind flayer.
And it's that moment that you guys are talking that the doors burst open.
Fuck, finally.
And
God damn.
a guard rushes in and whispers to Lord Redbird.
Can Aberforth hear it?
No, it's very quiet. Like, they go out of their way to make sure that none of you can read their lips. Like, the guard is very, very careful. And then Redbird speaks up. "It would appear we've located Lord Greybird."
Where's
I
he
hope
at?
he's in good health.
"Not exactly.
Oh shit!
Apparently on his way up through the slums, for some reason, Lord Greybird was either accosted and kidnapped, or he took a detour. We found him in one of the gutters with several knife wounds. He's still alive, but several other corpses were discovered near around him. Some which his business partner, Conway Cragborn, has ID'd as patrons from the Overlook, and some that no one knows who they were. Those are likely his muggers." Conway did.
Conway survived and was awake to ID people is the point.
"It would appear as if whatever cargo Lord Greybird was carrying was conveniently lost."
I see.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's definitely suspicious that,
Yeah.
it's definitely suspicious that, Vern Hazel was knifed on the way here. You know that Vern Hazel is a very competent fighter, and the path that you guys took to get here didn't even include the slums. Like, you guys essentially went up a set of stairways that Vern Hazel pointed out to you were on the very outskirt for the sole purpose of avoiding people and having any trouble. Meaning that Vern Hazel, to get accosted, he would have to have not have taken those stairs.
Right, which means someone went and got him.
Redbird leans on the table and says, "Neither do I."
Car in the back seat.
Which begs the question: was Vern Hazel stabbed in order to have his cargo stolen, or was there any cargo in the first place, and this is part of an elaborate cover-up?
Bullshit. Where's the game?
You think people would give their lives for a cover-up so that we could get a permit to the Underdark?
Rarebeard speaks up and says, "Quite frankly, yes. There are reasons we only allow people into the Underdark with permits or people we intend to never return."
Wait till your next.
If you return, you have a chance of bringing corruption with you.
Oh no.
There are other chances. There are other things down there as well that only us nobles and the High King know about. Knowledge is dangerous, and information is power. There are organizations in Araktar who would pay more than a few lives in order to get access to some of the truths.
Well, we seem to be put in a bit of a pinch.
You do indeed, Whiskey Finest says.
I think now might be the time to mention the thing that Dave saw.
Huh?
I said now might be the time to mention the thing that Dave saw, because it's like possibly our last selling point.
I can find out where their corpse is.
You can?
Yeah. And Dave takes out a forked twig and he starts chanting.
Aberforth, do you warn them that Dave is about to cast a spell?
Yes.
Did Dave warn us? He just said that he can find out. I mean, that's fair.
Rarebird says there is to be no spell casting in this meeting chamber without permission. What is he doing?
He's trying to locate the corpse.
Which corpse?
The proof. That way we can ensure you know that we are not wasting your time.
Let the council confer on whether or not we will allow this. Lord Finest. Let him try. If there's a corpse somewhere, he may as well try and find out. Lord Redbird. Redbird says, I say let him try.
On her back.
Okay, I say let him try. I'm interested to know what happened to my family. He says an obscure relation that doesn't translate well. Rarebeard says that she does not want you to cast, as you could just lie about whatever you discover, so there's no point of it. Fisthammer agrees with Rarebeard, and seeing Fisthammer agree with Rarebeard, Hammerfist says, "Do it, laddie."
Sorry,
What
I
are we
was not
doing?
in character.
By the way, Hammerfist has not paid attention to this entire conversation, this whole fucking time. Even when you guys were touching the crystal, he was like picking his nose and staring at a wall.
Right, but as soon as Fisthammer said yes, he said no. Or no, he said yes.
Exactly. So, Dave, you've got permission to cast.
I cast locate object.
You can't cast locate object on the corpse?
Yes.
So how does that work? Can you link it to me?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess a corpse would be an object, wouldn't it?
There, I linked it to you privately.
So 1,000 feet of you. How many kilometers is that?
Fuck, let me get translation. Probably, yeah.
0.3048 kilometers.
You don't detect it.
But that's kind of fair, since this place is fairly massive.
Mm-hmm. I tell them that it's too far away.
Whiskey Finest kind of tugs at his mustache. Redbird looks disappointed. Rarebeard and Fisthammer look like they expected as much. And Hammerfist has stopped paying attention again. Mysterious Mind Flayer aside, I believe your main issue was getting a permit to go back down, correct?
Yeah.
So what is your purpose of going down again?
Well, if the Mind Flayer corpse is gone, then we need to find a new Mind Flayer corpse so we can prove that we're not, lying.
We know Mind Flayers are down there. You don't need to go down to confirm that. Rarebeard chimes in. That's assuming a Mind Flayer even made it to the surface. We still don't believe your story entirely.
Which is why we need to, find out how.
Hammerfist, at this point, rolls his eyes and slams the table with his foot and says, "Enough of these games. Tell us the truth. Why do you want to go back down into the crag?" The other nobles seem kind of scandalized by Hammerfist's direct way of just bluntly asking.
Dave, did you specifically tell me not to bring up the rune?
Yes.
What's up?
I have to decide if I'm going to listen to you or not now.
What they say?
Dude, I'm playing Dungeons & Dragons.
Because there's no way they're going to let us go down for a god.
Guys, I'll be back in a few minutes.
Alright.
Oh,
There's no way they're going to let us go
5
down
to 10
because a
minutes.
god told us to, because they said they don't want people getting information. Especially if we tell them who we're looking for.
Well, so, out of character then, I'll let you know that, Tyr, so far, anytime we've gotten to the point of mentioning that there's another world or there's a multiverse or anything like it, he said that he'll just kill us, essentially.
Wait, seriously? Oh, is that why Aberforth didn't translate?
Wait, like,
No.
he doesn't want other... I don't know exactly why, but there's been a few instances where he doesn't want us to let others know about the Tantalium specifically.
Oh, well.
And
alright.
how are you going to explain that we're from a different world?
Yeah, I know, but what else reason do we have besides, okay, we wanted to go down for this thing we have no proof actually happened, or we saw a rune down there which gave us history of your world, but we can't say that because they don't want the information getting out. But we can't tell them we're going down for a bard.
I mean, the last one is to find that shipment. So
Which we can't bring up as well.
yeah, exactly. So
So we have 3 things we're not supposed to say, and the fake story which they're not buying, because our proof is gone. Shit.
This is some Game of Thrones shit going on right now.
meh.
Well, to be fair, the people who brought in Granny Orc told them about the whole thing. They didn't die.
Wait, what?
Well, we don't know the specifics, but when we've talked about the Tantalium in the past, it's been brought up that don't let anyone know about the Tantalium.
I mean, we don't have to talk about Italian.
Notably, you guys haven't heard Krieger chime in a single time during this meeting, and 90 times out of 10, he normally has smarmy remarks.
Okay, then yeah, I'll be like, hey, Krieger.
There's no response.
Okay, they can't hear us then. Then just tell them the truth and see what happens. I don't really care at this point.
We can't... What? Which truth?
Whichever one you want. I just want to get on with this.
I know, but... trying to figure out how not to get us killed. It's kind of important.
We're not gonna get killed.
I mean, they threatened us with death once, so...
No, this time failure just means that, oh, they won't let us down there. Because we've already shown that we're not mind flayers.
Okay. Well, since I'm the one who's doing the talking, does anyone have a suggestion as for what I can say? Because right now, I'm having a hard time deciding between the 3 truths. The Vern Hazel's truth, the God truth, and the Rune truth. I mean, we can. I mean, true, but I don't know if they're going to buy it. At the very least, that's the safest option to keep pressing, but I don't know if they're going to buy it anymore. No, yeah, no, I'm not worried about the deception roll. I'm just saying, like, if we don't have any proof about the Mind Flayer, they're probably going to deny us. And if they deny us after this meeting, no minor nobles are going to be able to get a pass through either. I definitely wouldn't rather have us killed.
What?
If they deny us, how are we supposed to get down there?
How would us having found a rune from our world make a difference to them?
Maybe they'll want the knowledge of it, especially if one of them is a Mind Flayer. Maybe one of them will want the knowledge. But then again, maybe they won't want us having that knowledge. True. They could be referring to the rune. Also, we know the crystal doesn't work. So one of them could very well be a Mind Flayer. Because it should have lit up when I touched it if it did what they claimed it did.
Well, we can always say that we found remnants of people from our nation down there, and if that's the case, then we want to know how they got down there.
I mean, that would be a pretty hard-pressed deception roll, but we could.
It's not so much of... It's a modification. Instead of saying that there are runes down there that prevent the Mind Flayer stuff, because that's the thing I definitely don't want to let them know about.
That is proof that people from our country have been there before. That's right. The runes are in Dwarvish, but they're from Meridana. That's right.
So, what I want... Instead of saying that it's about
them, we could say it's about us.
We found something that was left down there from our home.
Okay.
And we want to know why something from our home is down there, because we didn't get a chance to do it because we were chased by a large worm.
All right, so is that the story you guys are going with?
Yeah, let's go with the...
Yes.
Fine, to be frank with you, there's trace of our nation in your crag.
Okay. Aberforth, do you translate that?
Yes.
Okay. Bo, are you making any sort of rolls?
No, I'm just saying it.
Okay.
Do I need to make any rolls for that, or?
You can make
It's
rolls
the
if you
truth.
want. So
I guess I'm trying to persuade them, so...
one of them says explain.
Okay. I explain, we found runic scrawlings from our country. I say country instead of world. In the rock faces of the crag.
Okay. Are you rolling anything?
Sure, persuasion, I guess.
Alrighty.
I'm not lying, so I guess I'll just try to...
Alright, Aberforth, insight?
I'm
Or
just gonna
whatever
use
else
that-
you'd like to roll?
I'm just gonna use that 19 I got earlier.
Yeah, you translate it and they seem to say, ah. So you're curious out of how your forebears could have been down in that Underdark then?
Yes, as we are not anywhere close to this country. It is quite curious to us that they came down here at all.
Hmm. Whiskey, alright. Have you, they ask you, have you made your case then? Is that all you wanted to tell us? And we'll take our vote now?
I mean, I think we're.
I will say this. I promise, as Queen of Mayer, we did not prank you about the Mind Flayer. So, if you wish us to not pursue that further, very well. We will simply pursue our original cause. But I would like you to have full knowledge of it, in case this arises again.
Alright, you want to roll anything on that?
Sure, persuasion.
Okay.
Because at this point, whether they believe me or not, at least I can say I told you so.
Aberforth, insight?
Oh god.
Or anything else you want to roll, dude?
Not like a rub it in their face. I told you so. Just sort of a if shit happens. Hey,
Yeah,
you guys
I got what you were
had
saying.
to
Yeah, I got what you said.
regret it on your own time.
Advantage?
Yes, at advantage. You are correct. Thank you for pointing that out.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Dave, do you have anything left to say?
No.
All right. They say, all right, let us confer. And they begin muttering. Aberforth, you can roll a perception to try and listen in if you'd like. Because this time they aren't bothering to really disguise themselves talking as much. They're all talking too much, but you don't pick it up. And after a moment, they finish conferring, and Lord Finest is the first to speak. I say let them do it. If they want to go down themselves and get themselves killed, that's their issue. Who knows, they might clear the way for a couple of good dwarven soldiers to push further in. Redbird says, I believe that they have caused enough trouble for me and my houses. I vote no. Oh, and that is the moment that Roll20 crashed for me.
Oh no.
Rarebeard says, I'll hold my vote until I hear what the rest of the council says.
Of course.
Fisthammer says that I have no interest in giving up our secrets, even if they pertain to another kingdom. I also vote no. Hammerfist slams down one of his big, like, mallets on the table, taking a chunk out of it, and says, I vote yes!
Dylan, was he involved in their discussion? Just wondering.
No.
Yep.
He was, again, picking his nose. You can see that, like, he's too far away from anyone but Fisthammer to try to talk to him, and Fisthammer didn't even make an effort. In fact, she actively turned her back to him, blocking him out from the conversation.
Okay.
And
Now back to Rarebeard.
it's Rarebeard for the tie. And she surveys you all. And she switches to common. Queen Isribeau.
Yes, ma'am.
We would have your word on pain of execution of you, your house,
Hello?
all your courtiers. Your...
Yeah, it cut out for a second. I heard we would have your, and then it cut out.
We would have your word on pain of execution of you, your family, and your courtiers, as well as the annexation of your entire country. That any thing discovered in the Underdark will be left there. Any knowledge gained in the Underdark will be kept for you and your courtiers' personal use. Nothing shall be recorded, nothing shall be written down, nothing will be shared with anyone who does not go with you. If you accept my terms, you have my vote that you to grant you a permit.
Dylan, just clarifying something real quick. I don't need 3 votes. I have 2 people, right?
Honestly, you need 1.
Right, exactly. So as soon as Whiskey Finest said yes, we're golden.
However, you know that he could retract if he thinks the council is going to give enough pressure on him.
That's true.
Like Whiskey Finest and Hammerfist both don't seem to care if you go down.
We want Rarebeard on our side, but her terms are, if I heard her correctly, no one on this
You automatically know that you are going to break those terms the second you go down there because the Tantalium will be watching you.
Right, but they're not going to know that.
They will not know that unless they have some means of finding out if you're being scryed upon. So you could deny her claim and then try and see if you can convince Hammerfist or Finest in private after the meeting to continue giving you their support. Or you could go accept her terms and have the sure thing.
Because even if they do find out, I don't have to, as long as I get her say-so, I don't have to get the permit from her.
Well, if you get her vote that yes, that she will allow you guys to get a permit, essentially the reason that they're voting is this way the other council members know their ideas. And that means if Rarebeard says that no, she doesn't think you should get a permit, and then Finest or Hammerfist were to give you one, you know it would hurt their standing with Rarebeard on the council. And you'd have to weigh if they actually care about it or not.
Because she's the neutral party.
Yes. Politics!
Okay, she said specifically that none of this information will be recorded or shared with anyone who didn't go down with us.
Essentially, yes.
However, the information is viewed by those in the Tantalium, but it's not recorded. And those who go in the Tantalium...
Well, it's also sharing with them. She said that sharing in the knowledge, like telling someone about what you found down there too, also counts as breaking her terms. In addition...
I know, but I'm going specifically by her words because loopholes.
You're pretty certain, like, you know that from how she has said, that, yes, you going down there at all will automatically break the terms that she sets. Because the Tantalium counts for what she said.
I know, I just know people from the Tantalium come with us all the time, so that, you know.
Yes, you'd have to have every single member and NPC, every single member, including NPCs of the Talium, and Tyr himself, come down into the Underdark. And you know damn well Tyr's not going to do that.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
Who's ready for a 100-man session? Just kidding.
So how do I tell her without telling her? I cannot guarantee that due to the fact that we are divinely guided. How do I? Because like people. Okay, then I will say. I shall share it with none but me and the god above me.
No, we don't want you sharing it with any gods, she says.
That was kind of the point.
Gods are a tangible thing in this multiverse, but like Tyr, they actually walk around and interact with things.
Oh, so they know about gods, but they don't know about multiple universes.
Yes, because gods on every planet work the same way.
God damn it. Alright, I have to take her turns.
Alright, you accept?
I know, but I...
What do you mean,
down
no?
there, I'm down there.
Are you accepting her terms or not?
Yes.
Alright, she gives you her vote. That's 3. You can, this council meeting is concluded. If you wish to seek funding from either of the 3 of us who have given you our go-ahead, please come and find us. That being said, I'm pretty sure most of us have things to tend to. Isn't that right, Lord Hammerfist? And Hammerfist jerks awake. He goes, ah! Yes, very, very busy. Hammering things. Fuck you, Fist Hammer. And then he just goes back to, like, picking his nose.
Okay. We should probably appeal Rarebeard or Whiskey Finest for funds.
Redbeard and Fist Hammer immediately just leave.
That's fine.
Like they don't even look at any of you, and they don't look at the other members of the council. The other 3 are kind of milling about. Hammerfist is sleeping in his chair. Rarebeard is sitting as if she's waiting for you, and Finest is drinking alcohol.
Right, okay, so Hammerfist probably isn't going to give us money because he just doesn't care.
I mean, there's a very easy way to get him to get us money.
Oh yeah, it would piss off this Hammer. Still, it's a kind of a chance. Whiskey Finest supported us from the get-go, but I don't know if he's gonna pay very well. That's true. So he's not gonna. Okay, we'll go with Rarebeard because she. See, right? Is that what everyone kind of is coming to, or would you rather go with Hammerfist?
I don't really care. You can just try with one. If that doesn't work, you go to the other, and if that doesn't work, you go to the next.
Dylan, is that something we can do? Or if we ask one, and that's it?
No, you can shop around. They both said that they are by them voting yes, that means that they have all 3 said that they are willing to fund you essentially.
Okay.
It's not like they voted for you and they don't care and they're going to send you down there with no supplies. This is essentially they have all said yes, meaning each one of them is willing to fund you, and each one will have pros and cons of picking their funding.
Okay, in which case, I'll ask.
For instance, you guys know, for example, that Finest sends the most expeditions down there.
Which means they're probably cheaper.
In addition, you also know that his soldiers, you guys have seen that his troops are the ones that tend to be guarding Arak-Tar the most, meaning that you can infer, for example, that Finest is a very militaristic leader. Whereas you can see that Hammerfist, well, he looks pretty strong and tough himself. He looks about as organized as a hurricane in a barn of cows. And Rarebeard is just interesting, trying to play the field. So she seems kind of like a neutral thing. So depending on which one you guys pick, they'll have different bonuses and different negatives depending on what they're willing to fund you and what they'll send you down with.
Okay,
13
then I
minutes.
will appeal to Whiskey Finest first, because I feel like he'd probably get offended if we didn't.
Guy, you picked the best one to speak to. Now then, let's start talking strategy. First off, I've got the most comprehensive maps of the Underdark, so you're gonna know exactly where you're going down. There's no chance of getting lost with my maps. Even if you get knocked off your path, you'll know the exact way back. Secondly, my boys have seen runes like the ones you're talking about before. So I can mark locations for each of them on your map for you. Thirdly, I'm gonna make sure you're hella supplied. We'll be sending you down with at least 5 weapon crates, as well as a contingent of experienced veterans to help set your camp and stuff. They won't do any fighting, but they'll be able to tend to carrying the boxes and shite. For food supplies, you're on your own for that. We've been running a little low from too many lost expeditions lately ourselves. In addition, I want you to find me something down. And if you do, I'll pay you good money for it when you bring it back up.
Anything specific you're looking for?
Yes, and he pulls you away from the other two. It's no secret that I'm not the biggest fan of Redbird. Now, he's been sending down caravans into the Underdark that have been strange. I think that he's plotting treason against the High King down in the Underdark where no one can see him. I want you to find some sort of evidence that this is taking place. If you do, I'll pay you handsomely for it. If you can find me any evidence at all that can be traced back to Redbird, such as his minor houses plotting treason, you'll be paid for it.
Why would he be plotting treason?
Dunno. That's why I'm paying you to find out. Oh, also, you don't have to worry about lack of entertainment while you're in the Underdark. We'll be sending you down with a few dancers and a shit ton of my finest. And he winks at you. Hell, if you can sweeten the deal a little bit more for me, maybe I'll even go down with you myself. It's been a while since I've been on a good expedition with old Boomstick here, and he pats the short, sawed-off, double-barreled shotgun resting on his hip.
You pose an intriguing offer, Lord Whiskey Finest.
Yes, let's see how happy he is when he sees the real reason we went down there.
Now, as to not offend any of you gracious nobles, I will be listening to the counter-offers before I make my decision. You understand, of course, sir.
Finest waves his hand. Don't matter to me. I expect you all to die down there anyways if you don't take my aid. However, if you do manage to get back and you find the information, I'll still pay you for it. Doesn't matter to me whose offer you take. However, I'm going to let you know right now, if you want to survive, mine is the one that you should accept.
Duly noted, sir. And then I'll walk over to
Rarebeard or Hammerfist.
I know. I'm trying to think who I should pick first, because Hammerfist probably won't care. I don't want to offend Rarebeard, but I also don't want to upset Hammerfist.
Just talk to one of them.
Is Hammerfist still picking his nose?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Then
However, now he's looking at you all while he's picking his nose.
Oh, he's looking at us now? Shit.
Just talk to one of them, please.
I know, I'm
I beg
pick,
you.
Okay? Chill. I'm just trying to do the least.
It's not. It's literally not a big deal. He's not gonna leave. Or
Dylan,
if
is it
he
gonna
does...
make a difference the order I pick?
Not at all.
Okay, fine. Rarebeard.
All right. Rarebeard explains that she would be sending a group of fighters with you as well. But Bo, you're pretty certain that they'd just be there to watch you. Like you can there's subtext in this. I'm not even making you roll an insight for because she's pretty blatant about it, but in a polite way. That she'd be sending people to essentially keep an eye on you to make sure you keep your promise. But in exchange, she's willing to send you with 4 crates of food and 3 crates of weapons in addition to whatever you buy on your own.
Okay.
She doesn't have any special things that she wants.
Right, except for to not share information. All right, and then we listen to Hammerfist offer.
Yep. Hammerfist offers to go. Sorry, hold on. Hammerfist offers to essentially. Well, actually, sorry. Correction. I'm getting my notes a little confused up here. Hammerfist and Fisthammer have very similar names.
Yeah.
Hammerfist is like, all right, what do you want? He's letting you make the offer.
All right. Shit.
I mean, has he ever sent an expedition down there?
Nope.
Oh, okay. All right.
Is there anything you
I'll
want?
say, you got men to spare?
Good smiths, yeah.
They make good weapons, yeah?
Finest that you'll find. And Finest goes, aye, what?
What? I was gonna say, is there something he wants us to find out while we're down there?
He shrugs. Just make Fisthammer look bad by coming back alive and succeeding on your mission, I guess.
Alright, then in that case, we're gonna need supplies and men to help us carry them.
How much?
Two crates of weapons, 5 crates of food,
I can do that, aye.
and as many men as you can spare to help us move the carts and the camps.
I can spare
And
2.
then supplies.
I can spare 2. My brother and my son. Supplies you don't gotta worry about. We have tons of wagons for the forges.
Alright, so those are our 3 offers. We've got offer number 1, the most shit will pay us if we get something against the Redbirds, and but we gotta buy our own food. Then we've got Rarebeard, who says, I'll give you a decent amount of food and supplies. You gotta get your own... She said food and weapons, you gotta get your own supplies, and I'll give you some people, but they're basically gonna watch. So I think Whiskey Finest is actually the best offer.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
All
it's
right.
more weapons than we probably need, but we get to keep them, so... Right, but we can buy food.
Yeah, we can just buy food. It's more. We get the other stuff as well, like the maps and stuff.
Yeah, he'll be giving us the maps, people to carry our shit so we don't have to worry about it, people to set up our camps.
It's clear that Whiskey Finest is the most experienced out of all 3 of them for sending expeditions, as he had a very, very concrete laid out plan for you guys.
Yeah. Okay, so is anyone against going with Whiskey Finest?
No, well, I'm not.
It just
Orlind?
sounds the most beneficial.
Aberforth?
Nah.
All right. Whiskey. So you guys accept Whiskey Finest's offer?
Yes.
I've been thinking about it too. I will go with you as well. By the way, sounds like a good rip roaring time.
Alright.
Here, catch. And he pulls a small like derringer out of his boot and tosses it to you.
Okay, do I need to roll to catch, or can I just catch it?
Yeah, you can just catch it. The derringer has the stats of a hand crossbow.
Okay. It's a gun, though.
It is a gun, yes.
Cool.
The Finest always do deals over guns and bows, and he then tosses a flask towards each of you. Take a drink. Fire that off.
In which direction? I'd like to not hit any of your...
Straight up! And he fires his shotgun in the air. And Herefist and Rarebeard roll their eyes and leave.
I'll shoot upwards then.
Alright. We can continue or we can end here for tonight. You guys can continue exploring the city, buying supplies. I think we should probably handle that, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Whiskey Finest says, alright. Here you are, Queen Bow. This is a letter. Hey, show it to any shopkeepers who give you trouble. You'll find that they change their tune right quick. I'm gonna prepare the men in the wagons. And he leaves.
Appreciated.
If it's not super important, can you guys handle that on your own? Because I need to go sleep.
Yeah, you don't sound too good, my dude.
You're fine, hon. If you need to sleep, you can sleep.
I'll talk to you some other time.
Martin, before you go, you're getting 1,000 experience from the session. Actually, you know what? You guys handled that real well. I'm going to give you a bonus XP for getting votes of yes from Rarebeard, Finest, and Hammerfist. So I'll be awarding you guys a total of 1,500 XP, I think.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Yep, because that guys was completely open-ended. You could have ended up with all of the council agreeing. You could end up with none of the council agreeing. You could have ended up with just one guy, ending with 3, especially Whiskey Finest, as he was actually the one who I thought was going to be the hardest for you guys to convince, which is why his offer was so good.
Yeah.
I did not expect you to get him, but you struck all the chords that he wanted, which was the fact that you guys just want to go and fight shit.
Mm-hmm.
In his mind, he's like, oh, they just want to go and kill shit? Hell yeah, I'm down for that.
Plus, again, like we said earlier, if it's better us than dwarves.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Can I try something real quick?
You sure can. Is it something you wanted to do with
No, it's just needed to check something. Okay, so that's how you roll to a GM.
Okay, cool.
Change that way.
Dave starts doing calisthenics.
What? Alright.
Just a joke.
That's how much?
Anyway.
1,500? 300?
1,500.
Anyway, good night, everybody.
Good night, Martin. Sleep well, dude. Oh, Martin, can I get your... I know that this session was probably a little boring because it was only social stuff, but did you have a favorite or a least favorite?
I can't think of anything at the moment. Sorry, mate.
That's okay, dude.
If anything, I thought it was funny to get Whiskey Finest to touch his nose.
Oh yeah, that was clever. He does have a big red nose, as you can tell by his token.
Anyway, good night.
You said the Derringer works like a hand crossbow, right?
Yes, and he lets you keep it, by the way.
So if I'm proficient in a hand crossbow, I'm proficient in this Derringer?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yep, you've got a little pistol now.
I got 2 pistols now.
Oh yeah, you do.
I just need to put actual bullets in the other one. So
Alright.
That's something I need now is bullets.
So, you guys, really the only thing you need to buy is food.
And bullets.
We have...
You could also check on Vern Hazel if you wanted before as well.
Yeah.
Could we have asked Whiskey Finest how much food he would recommend bringing?
No less than 10 crates if you're planning an extended campaign.
That's a fair point, especially because each crate is for 6 people, and if we're bringing his guys as well.
Oh, don't worry, I'll handle my people's food on their own.
Alright.
Just buy for yourselves. My people, my responsibility.
Fair. He's gonna come with us, which will actually help a little bit, except for towards the end.
Yeah. you guys realize that?
It'll be fine.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Who knows? Maybe he'll die mysteriously along the way.
That's dark.
I mean,
Jesus.
we just kind of have to not heal him.
Don't forget, he's gonna have his men down there.
Oh, I'm sure. But I'm sure he's gonna incur losses too. It'll be fine. We'll deal. Okay, so all we have to do, so he's gonna handle supplies and everything like that. He's handling weapons, so we're just gonna have plenty of that stuff. So I guess we take the letter and go to one of the food suppliers and try to buy some food.
You guys going to the same food supplier as last time?
Oh, sure, he won't recognize any of us.
Oh god.
I'll just tell Aberforth to stay outside.
We need somebody who speaks Dwarvish with us.
No, we don't. I have the letter that says they can't give me any gruff.
Well, sure, but...
Aberforth was in a costume last time, but they
Yeah.
could still possibly
I
recognize
know,
him.
but
So,
I'm just saying we can just go to a different food supplier.
okay, well then, yeah, let's go to a different food supplier just to be safe, I guess.
Alright. You're there. The dwarf behind the counter. You probably show him the letter almost immediately as he, is like, the fuck are you doing in here?
Boop letter.
Yeah, he reads it and he goes, oh, a finest expedition. Didn't know he was hiring non-dwarves. Bit of out of character for him.
We had a good enough persuasion for him.
Alright.
How
Well,
much would it be for 10 crates?
10 crates? I'd be willing to go for 300 gold.
How much? I'll look over to Aberforth again. Aberforth is the one who made the deal last time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he would know if that was a fair deal?
I assume so. I don't remember how much I spent. I think it was 200, wasn't it, on last time?
For 325, I'll make it 15 crates.
I mean, I can pay for that much, honestly.
Yeah. I'd say that's a fair deal.
You want to get more to be safe?
Yeah, let's get more to be safe. Better safe than sorry.
Alright,
For only 25 gold? Yeah, that's not a bad deal.
so you're getting 15? How many do you want in the end, though? Do you want another 15 for another 325? That way you definitely wouldn't have to worry about it.
We can't take all this food with us, can we?
Oh yeah, you can. Finest is going to prepare wagons for how much you buy.
Oh, I mean, once we're done, we can't take it to the Tintalium, can we?
Yeah, you can. It's your food. People would be able to eat something that wasn't Asian-inspired cuisine for a change.
I mean, yeah, if Tyr's gonna teleport everything back to the Tintalium, then sure. Okay.
But
Yeah,
would
we'll do
he...
it
Huh?
But would he really?
I don't know. See, that's the thing. It's like, how
Out
is
of
he
character, yeah,
recalled you guys-
you'll be able to keep your crates of food, and they'll be preserved in the Tantalium, should there ever be another mission where you need supplies on it.
Okay, cool. Then yeah, let's get 30 crates.
Cool. All right, yeah. So that is, he charges you a total of
650?
actually he only charges you 600 since you're getting more, so he's going to discount it.
Nice.
I'll
So-
cover
Such a
300.
deal,
You
such a
cover
deal.
300.
630 crates. It's none of it's good food. Like the last place you went to was actually fairly upscale. This is like hardtack, and it's essentially a shit ton of like dried jerky and shit.
I can cover
Better
the-
than rations, but not by a lot.
Yeah.
I can cover the other 300.
Okay, cool. So you covered 3, I covered.
All right.
And it's paid.
Is there anything else you want to do before we wrap up tonight?
I need to buy bullets.
Oh, if you have arrows, I just count that you have bullets as well.
I don't have arrows.
Oh, you don't have any arrows or bolts?
Yeah, you said they all broke when I fell.
Oh yeah, they did, didn't they? Yeah.
So
You're
I
gonna
need
have-
arrows and bullets.
that would be the supply shop, and there's only the one in town.
That's fine. He didn't see me last time.
All right, so are you all going into the supply shop?
Aberforth should not.
Aberforth speaks Dwarven now.
I know, but he saw you and JB topple apart and said just like last time, right?
No, I thought that was a food guy.
No, the food guy is the one that you guys convinced was Thunderbar. The supplier is the one that you didn't get anything from, which is why we had to carry everything.
Right.
So, I know you speak Dwarven, but you probably shouldn't come inside. Because what if he recognizes you?
True that.
So yeah, I'll just go in because I'm just buying for myself anyway.
Okay.
So I'll go in. I'll show him the letter.
Okay. Yeah, he says, all right, what can I get you?
Bolts and bullets.
All right. How many of each?
This is where I gotta look at things real quick. Bullets for for guns are all the same, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Awesome. That makes things easy.
Yeah, I'm not going to make you guys have to worry about caliber and shit.
Then I'd say 40 bolts and 60 bullets.
All right. 40 bolts and 60 bullets.
Yep.
He says, all right, give me 130 gold.
He's upcharging me because I'm speaking common, isn't he?
You don't know.
I mean, wouldn't I know the price of regular bolts? Well, not here, I guess.
Not on this world.
He said 160?
No, 130.
Alright, I'll give him 130.
Alright, he says thank you. Alright, anything else that you guys want to do before we wrap up?
Can we check on Burn Hazel?
Yeah.
Yeah, you ask Whiskey Finest where he was taken before you leave, because I figure you would have done that. And they say he's been taken to a hospital. He's in ICU, essentially. And so they don't allow any visitors, but you don't know. You might be able to push your way past or convince them to let you in anyways.
We could just talk to Conway.
Yeah, Conway's in the hospital. He's in the waiting room.
So we could at least talk to Conway, probably. Can we try to do that?
Sure. You guys sit down beside Conway and try and get his attention, and he just stares at the floor.
Hello, friend.
How's he doing?
He's staring at the floor.
No, I said to Conway as he's staring at the floor, how's he doing?
Yep, he continues to stare at that floor.
Insight, I guess?
Sure.
Like, I know why, but insight to figure out how I can get his attention.
Sure. Conway's eyes are glazed over. You've seen this before.
Oh man.
Oh,
Great.
okay, can I try and...
The hospital is very, very busy right now. There's
No,
people
I know.
all over.
Can I try and take his hand and lead him out of the room?
As you take his hand and help him stand up, the receptionist calls out to you and says, "Excuse me, where are you taking him?"
I'll say back to the receptionists. I just want to get him a breath of fresh air. He seems a bit upset at the moment.
Yes, we have people watching him. Yes, we have people watching him. I can't let you let him leave.
He's not allowed to leave.
No, he isn't. We're trying to get his story for what happened. The guard said that we aren't allowed to let him leave. He has to stay here.
My apologies.
You see some of Whiskey Finest guards watching you.
And if he stays in the room, that's all right then.
As long as he stays in this waiting room, yes.
Is there any part of the room that's any microcosm of less busy?
No, really. There's people sitting everywhere. You've definitely attracted the attention of some of Whiskey Finest guards, and they are watching you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna try and walk them off.
It doesn't look like there's anywhere that you can find that's private. It's a hospital. They tend to be busy, especially ICU.
Yeah, I know. I know how to get him out of it, and I can't really do that in front of other people. Like, I could, but I'm sure I'd get in trouble for it. Well, I don't know. Maybe there's something else.
You have a gun.
No, I know I have a gun, but I'm not gonna fire a gun in a hospital. Are you kidding me?
That's why I'm laughing.
Wait, why are you laughing?
Because I'm making a joke.
Oh, that I could fire the gun to... Yeah, no, If I cast magic on him, it's gonna make him try and do something dumb, and I'd like that to not happen.
Well, we know a charmed person is.
Hey, Jimmy, they got the permit. Whiskey Finest.
Oh, nice.
Yep, Whiskey Finest gave them the permit.
But he's coming with us.
And he's coming with you guys.
Nice.
No, not nice.
They also had a very, very tense negotiation with all of the elite nobles.
Oh, it's...
Sorry you couldn't be here, dude.
Yeah, my mom decided to come into town, like a 2-hour drive.
By the way, Kenny mentioned that he needed to dip because his mom needed him, and it was an emergency.
Oh.
Kenny says that he's going to try to play Monday, though.
Oh, cool. Yeah, the Monday's the day.
That means, too, by the way, Kenny is not a year subscriber, meaning he'd have to pay the 10, so it's going to turn into a roll-off on Monday for the people who don't have it as their guaranteed day.
That's fine. I might have other stuff I have to do. I don't really want to miss game, but I might have to pull.
Yeah, no worries.
Anyway.
Just letting everyone know. So yeah, are you doing anything then, Heather?
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think of what I can do. I've got a lot of spells. So.
By the way, Jimmy, Vern Hazel got stabbed like horribly. He's in ICU right now.
I mean, we don't know if he got stabbed for sure.
That's true, actually. You guys haven't managed to find Vern Hazel. You know Conway is in the hospital, but you haven't, and you know that everyone is telling you Vern Hazel's in ICU, but you haven't actually seen him yet.
Yeah, and Conway's here in mind control right now, and the only way to dispel that is to, like, big, loud noise, and I'm trying to figure out a way to do that without getting arrested.
I mean, how long does the noise need to be?
Well, it has to be loud enough to startle him, because that's what worked last time. But... I'm just looking at any of my noise-making spells to see if any of them have less than 5-foot range, maybe. I mean, the only other thing I can think is I do use a regular spell, and it makes him do the trigger, and they have to try and stop him.
What if
which case I tell them you need to clap him at the ears.
What if you have, like, 6
but
paladins?
The thing is, if they know he's been corrupted or whatever, won't they just try and kill him?
Then they would have killed him right away.
If they knew. But if they haven't realized it, then...
Well, the other thing is, I'm whispering this to Isribeau. The other thing is that, we don't know if there are any other people who might be mind flayers around here.
Or mind controlled as well.
Right.
bad as it might be, we might just have to leave him here. Can I see if he has any weapons on him? I'm sure he wouldn't in a hospital, but...
Yeah, roll something.
Okay.
Perception, maybe?
Bo.
Yeah.
One moment, I just realized I've had the same music on and I didn't want this music on for this scene. Especially not for what you just found. Ignore the title of this. This title it's just a repeat of a song I used before.
That's okay, I can't hear the music anyway.
There is something clutched in his right fist. And you can see a bit of a tiny slip of paper, like poking out from the top of his fist. The guards are watching you.
Okay, then I will make to grab his hand, like cupping his hand and just looking at him and say, "You know everything's going to be alright, don't you?" And try to sleight of hand it. Like making a big thing that, you know.
Roll sleight of hand. You managed to slip the paper out, but you don't know if the guards caught on to your crafty move or not.
That's fine.
Do you look at the paper now, or do you walk out of the hospital? What do you do?
First things first, I'm gonna try and... I need to stuff it somewhere that if they did see me, they're not gonna see where I put it.
I mean, are you wearing long sleeves?
I'm wearing armor and I have a bag of holding, so it's like if I put it in the bag of holding, it's gonna take them a while to find it because of all the other things in my bag of holding.
I'm just wondering if you can just put it like up your sleeve.
I'm gonna move to try and like hug him. And when I hug him, I'm stuffing it in my thing. Because if it's by his shoulder, it'll be out of their sight.
Okay, roll sleight of hand again.
Couldn't this also... Okay.
Nat fucking 20.
Yeah, you easily tuck it away. You're absolutely certain no one's gonna find it because you put it down your pants.
Alright, cool.
Homophobes never check there.
That's not untrue. Alright, so I let go of him. I'll just kind of give him a little bit of a sad look. And say, "We'll be back to check on you later." Okay?
He just stares at the floor.
Yeah, I know he does. And I move to take my courtier and leave.
Alright. The three of you exit the hospital. And I'm guessing you quickly find a place with no guards around, right?
I will be making sure that they're not following us.
Alright. Roll perception.
Anyone want to help me watch?
Yeah, I will.
Thank you.
But mine's not that great either. Oh, okay.
So I'm walking with a piece of paper in my pants, so...
Orlind, you're pretty confident no one's following you.
Alright, friend. What is it?
Alright. Can we go to the overlook? Because that's on the way down to the crag anyway, right?
I mean, nobody's watching right now. We can just look at it right now. Because if we go back to the overlook, we don't know what sort of state it's in.
That's true. Okay, so, but yeah, Dylan, nobody's around at this moment?
Not that you see. No one seems to be paying attention to you at the moment. You guys have found like a little like indent in the wall.
Okay. I find somewhere where there's definitely no one watching me because I have to turn around, reach down my pants, and grab the paper.
Alright, you do so.
I'm going to not read it. I am going to face it to Orlind.
Yeah.
Because I've read words that fucked me up before, so I'm suspicious. I'm gonna kind of hold it out to Orlind and be like, "Is this in a language you can understand?"
He's gonna make sure he's not holding any weapons, and then he'll read it.
Alright. you unhook your weapons and you hand them to Aberforth. Aberforth, you're like you've got your arms held out and you're carrying a bunch of logs and you're just stacked up with weapons.
Yeah, it's a warhammer, a whip, some javelins.
Aberforth, you kind of teeter a little.
Well, I mean, you haven't been messed with by the Mind Flayer, so it shouldn't affect you.
Yes, but we don't know.
Fair enough.
He'll look at it now.
It reads, Mind Flayers on Elite Council. Don't trust any Cragborn.
No.
Still controlled. They have Vern Hazel.
Okay, so one of the elite council was definitely a Mind Flayer, which I suspected from the get-go.
First thing, I wanted to say this earlier.
Yeah.
So apparently it's out of character for Whiskey Finest to hire non-dwarves for expeditions. Like, extremely out of character, enough so that some random fucko... Well, okay, Orlind doesn't say fucko, sorry. Some random guy...
You can totally say fucko.
Some random person commented on it. So, I don't know for sure, but I have a feeling that Whiskey Finest is one. We don't know who else.
That's fair. He might be, especially since he's coming with us. It's possible.
Yep. Also keep in mind that apparently Redbird has been doing something down there. So we don't know if that's if Redbeard is, so let's say that Redbeard is a Mind Flayer. That would give Redbird. If Redbird is a Mind Flayer, that would give Redbird a reason to go do things in the crag. If Redbird is not a Mind Flayer, then maybe Redbird is doing something to fight the Mind Flayers, for all we know.
Well, Redbird hasn't been sending expeditions down, and the Greybirds are related to the Redbird.
Because remember, who was it? Whiskey Finest was saying that he wants us to find evidence of Redbird committing treason.
True, but they have been fighting for a long time. It could just be...
But if he's suspicious of something, then...
It's possible.
Yeah.
The problem is it's possible it could be any of them, and it's hard to tell.
Yeah,
having
I'm
no
just
knowledge of this
it.
area.
I'm just mentioning it in case we do find out some more information. Maybe keeping these things in mind will help.
Very much so. So we know... Alright, so now we know that someone on the Elite Council was definitely a Mind Flayer, like we suspected. We know that the Cragborn are still being controlled by the Mind Flayers, which sucks because, you know, Highlander, he's so sweet.
God damn it, am I gonna have to bring this guy back? He was just meant to serve as a point to show that they are
racist. DM's curse. If you create a one-shot character that no one's supposed to care about, everyone's gonna love him.
He was just
like a fox.
He was just. Oh yeah, fox.
If it's any consolation,
mouse.
Neither Tao nor Orlind give a single shit.
That's the thing, though. Like, it looks like I'm gonna have to bring him back. He was only meant to be a device to show you guys that the dwarves even don't like. They're even horrible to other dwarves.
Just make him a Mind Flayer, Dylan. That's the solution.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna make this guy a Mind Flayer and be like, hey, their prejudice was right. Crippled people are terrible.
Okay, so one of the Elite Council is definitely a Mind Flayer. Cragborn are under control by the Mind Flayers, and what was the last thing?
Okay, well, first of all, we don't know if it's only one person on the Elite Council.
I thought I only said...
Mind Flayers on Elite Council. Don't trust any Cragborn. Still controlled. They have Vern Hazel.
Okay. Well, alright, so now we know that, and now that I know it's not in a foreign language,
Maybe I should just eat the note.
I would say, but it's been down my pants, darling.
I'm trying to think if Orlind cares. I don't think he does.
It doesn't
I
Orlind...
mean, if he doesn't care, he can eat the note. I'm not going to stop him. I just gave him fair warning. It was down my pants.
Doesn't Orlind what?
Never mind, because I realized it would spoil something for the others about your character.
Yeah.
So, is Orlind going to eat the note now that we know it?
Yes.
I applaud your dedication.
Nom 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 nom.
Yum paper.
Fear not, friend. I care not for these sorts of things.
Orlind, as Orlind opens their mouth, their tongue kind of like wraps around the paper and it back in. It does not look like the way a normal person eats things.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't chew it. He swallows it.
Like just swallows it whole. Like it's his tongue wraps around it. It
What
sucks it
race
back.
does Orlind appear to be?
Looks like a human.
Human.
Well, how about you describe him, Tal?
Actually, can you roll me a perception?
Yes, I can. Probably not going to be very good, but...
He looks pretty much human. I mean, you notice the tongue thing. His eyes look kind of weird, but you can't really place it.
What color are they?
I need to check. They're like dark blue.
Oh, okay, so not weird for a human.
Not really.
Something's weird, but it's not the color. Alright, Isribeau's just gonna kind of make a freaking comment, because he does that, and he's just gonna be like, interesting trick with the tongue, and carry on.
I don't know what you're talking about, friend.
Well, I'm sure you don't, darling.
Aberforth's just like, what the fuck? Can you fucking... Okay, Orlind picks up his
Aberforth is still standing there with all of Orlind's weapons.
He picks up his weapons now.
That's it, I'm done. Isribeau has flirted because he's a flirt. And,
I mean, that's all I wanted to do. So.
Shit.
I don't know what we can do to help them, unfortunately, at this moment in time. I feel like we probably need more people for that.
May, did you want something?
Hold on.
So I am done and ready to go, unless you guys have anything you'd like to do before we leave.
Oh, would Aberforth be able to locate the corpse?
No, he doesn't have that spell.
Darn.
I don't think I have locate object either. I took more... I don't have a lot of spell slots, so I took more efficient spells than that. For me.
I mean, I'm done, so...
Do I?
Don't I?
Huh?
I have no idea.
May?
Yeah, I didn't hear what you said.
Okay. Oh god. Aberforth turns toward Isribeau and says, I apologize for my for being so harsh about the letter, the note. But do you trust me?
No offense, darling. Trust is hard in a group where you barely know anyone, but I will give you an inch.
Please hold my hand for a minute. Then he holds out his hand.
Would you be so kind as to inform me what you're going to attain with this?
I seek more knowledge, and I don't wish to trigger anything if I tell you.
Did you say you seek my knowledge? Like you want to look in my brain?
No, I seek more knowledge, and I don't want to trigger anything by saying the wrong words.
Like with the map.
I care not about the map. The map is gone. I'm curious about something else.
Well, I don't make a habit of letting people poke around in my head, but I'll make an exception on the simple fact that you don't share what you learn with anyone if it's not strictly necessary.
Deal.
I'll give him my hand.
Any cast identify.
Okay, what's that do?
If you instead touch a creature throughout the casting, you learn what.
Reading.
I am not a magic
Huh.
item.
It's the
Oh,
last
you learn what
paragraph.
spells are affecting me.
Roll me an Arcana check. Knowledge Arcana.
Cool.
24.
Oh shit.
Aberforth, there aren't any spells affecting Bo, but you have definitely discovered your sleeper agent.
Yeah, but I mean, we knew that.
Yeah, the Mind Flayers have
I said
set
it
up.
might be.
The Mind Flayers have set up triggers in Bo that if anything, if Bo sees anything that will threaten their plans, Bo will attack. It has to be seized, and that is why the paper didn't trigger, because Orlind read it.
Wait, what? The SP was C's?
Yes.
Bo has to see it.
Oh, okay.
That's why since Orlind read it out loud, it doesn't count.
Right,
Okay.
but I knew I was the sleeper agent, that's why I had Orlind read it.
Yep.
Right.
So you guys
want-
have confirmed that you're Aberforth. You think that there might be some other programming in there, but it's buried pretty deep, and you don't know if you can figure it out. You do know, however, that there is a way to get rid of it, and you feel confident that you could devise a method by doing some other checks, rolls, and some essentially therapy with Bo to get rid of it.
Please tell me this.
What'd you say, Ellie?
Well, actually, no, if you tell me it... If he told me that, would that pose a problem? Because I wouldn't see him. I would hear him.
I mean,
You don't know. There's other programming in there.
Okay, well... Yeah, so you know what you know.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Well, satisfied with my life story?
Yes. He leaves it at that.
I will remove my hand.
are you gonna say?
Now kiss.
Are you gonna say anything?
No, I'm married.
Like,
No.
Orland's just watching Aberforth grab Bo's hand
And
he's
cast
just
a spell.
Yeah, he's
You
just
watched
like,
him
okay.
cast a spell, yeah.
Not at the moment.
Okay, well. Shrug.
So, we need to go down and do this thing. We have a bit of a situation up top as well that I feel poor about, but I'm not sure if we're going to be able to fix all the problems of this world before we are taken off of it.
I mean, we already...
So where should we focus our attention?
We have a mission. Remember that we're expendable to Tyr.
I'm aware. That doesn't mean I have to be a bad person in the meantime.
Okay, Krieger still hasn't said anything, right?
Yep, not a single thing.
Did we see him before we left the Tantallion?
Nope.
I hope he's just going around being Val or something.
Would someone other than me like to try and talk to him?
I mean, he would have said something by now. He's kind of a loudmouth.
You guys see a half elf with an eye patch and white braided hair walking out of the supply store.
Okay, thank fuck. I was like, I swear to God. If
Who's
he like
that?
fucking died.
It's
It's
Krieger.
Krieger.
Ah,
He's in his disguise.
Yeah. Fucking.
He waves at you all and then vanishes alongside a crate of random shit.
Off in
like
the
the
distance.
crate vanishes, or he vanishes next to it.
Him and the crate vanish. Like him and all the shit that he had just purchased vanishes, and you're presuming he's back in the Tantali.
Are we sure that he purchased it?
You don't know if he bought them or if he stole them. With Krieger, it could be either. You are certain, however, that he was looking like someone else, meaning that like if he whatever he did, a half elf with white braided hair, an eye patch, and a funny hat was going to be blamed for this.
Off in the distance, Valentin Dolk screams.
The joke is, Heather, is that when Krieger